What we do here is go back.
I just date inmates.
Guys, my date showed up.
The new date.
We dug deeper into sick TikTok.
I've already seen his beepee, and he's already seen my nunu. Okay?
And discovered one woman who loved targeting innocent teenagers. Her name is Ash Trevino, but she is also known by the nickname Inmate Hopper. Basically, she hops from one prison romance to the next like she's bar hopping on a Friday night, except the bars have actual bars and locks.
Listening to some good music.
The worst thing about this type of romance is Ash doesn't hunt for guys who got caught with a little weed or bounced a few checks.
I really was nervous, honestly.
She has a type, and that type is murderers.
You like them felons?
Yeah, I mean, I've been with them up until this year.
Not only does she haunt the entire internet with her terrible romantic choices, Ash Trevino also specifically targets guys way younger than she is. We're talking over 10 years younger, like this particular 19-year-old guy named Santo, whom she allegedly snatched up from her own daughter, who had a massive crush on him first.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Junior, and I'm out here in Texas, and I'm out here with Ash, with her family, her daughters, her dad, and her friend. How you guys feeling?
To make matters worse, Ash actually competes with her teenage daughters for younger men's attention.
Like, I don't know, there's like nothing to be jealous of. I mean, I am her daughter, and they say I look like her, so there's nothing much different from us. Not that I have more followers than her, maybe that's why.
Oh, so you think she's jealous of you because she has more followers?
And if things get out of her control during live streams, Ash admitted to pulling her daughter's hair during arguments, and she didn't seem sorry about it.
Like, I treated her like crap, and she still loves me, and she still makes videos. If you see her videos...
So we have to ask, why would a mother with 2 daughters at home obsess over men locked up for murder? And why did she love to destroy her daughters' lives? If we're being honest, we really believe Ash Trevino truly belongs either in cuffs behind bars or locked away in a padded room and not roaming around on TikTok. Because keeping in mind her first inmate lover, Isaiah Flaco Gonzalez, Ash Trevino wasn't shy about broadcasting this relationship to her growing social media following. In August of 2019, Ash posted on her Instagram that she was engaged to this guy, talking about how she can't wait to be wifed up by this man in prison. She said, "I cannot wait to marry this handsome guy. He is my world, and I will do everything possible to keep him happy." Now, it's not every day we see people getting married to fellows in prison, so, of course, Ash got quite the backlash, like this comment from Pink Matter, which called him a literal inmate. And let's just say, she didn't quite take that lightly. One person commented, "How's that work?" Another said, "Why are you acting like your son is the prize and not a literal inmate?" So she had a lot of words for her haters, telling them that they can do absolutely nothing to stop them. She said, "By the way, don't let the hate letters think it's gonna stop us."
Merry Christmas to me. I love it. It's just a little big, but I love it.
From this moment forward, Ash started carrying the title prison wife like a badge of honor, performing this duty even much better. She posted, "I am a prison wife. He is worth the wait." And then she captioned it, "Soon to be." But this couldn't be more true, because this woman was driving for hours, leaving her 2 young daughters to visit a man in prison, and then giving her followers content as if this was the new season of Keeping Up with the Convicts. In this picture she posted of her and her soon-to-be husband, she captioned it, "Had a great visit with my husband today. It's always hard leaving that place without him, but one day he will be home with us. I can already see it. God is working miracles on him every day. We finally posed and the baby was happy. Love that he isn't scared to show his love for me, even though he is behind those walls. I fall more in love with him every day. Hashtag our love is stronger than ever." And after another visitation, she posted this picture with the caption, "All God is amazing. I finally got a 4-hour contact visit with my handsome husband. We finally got to hug, kiss, and hold hands the whole time. I think we both fell in love with each other a lot more. We both needed this visit. It was only a matter of before Ash introduced this man to her daughters. Surprisingly, she did. The thing here is, she wasn't just lukewarm about this introduction. She outrightly introduced him as daddy. Now tell us, who in the world is ever that bold to introduce a prisoner to her kids at a first meetup? Well, you got it. Ash Trevino. She posted a picture of their visitation to their daddy in prison saying, "We had a great visit today and so blessed that both our girls were able to go see daddy. You can see the happiness on his face. Our first family picture. Only one more glass visit, then he gets to hug us all." Sure, there's something about stories like this, you know? A woman falling in love with a man in prison. It feels almost like Disney's Beauty and the Beast. But the truth remains, it always goes south. Because guess what? Paradise didn't stay pretty. Trouble came knocking. Ash made a post on the 10th of January 2020 which had lots of hearts and crying up emojis. However, a particular line stood out, and it's this part where she said in the caption, "Some things change, and I honestly don't know if we will come back from this." So what exactly could have gone wrong, seeing that this is someone who kept suffocating everyone on the internet with pictures of her moving happily in and out of prison, performing prison wife duties? Well, that question didn't get answered because the next thing she posted was a prison newsletter with the caption, "So blessed my husband was chosen to be the second look person today. Let's pray we can bring him home soon. I will continue to do what's needed for him as his wife, and will always be his voice. Love my husband so much." As you can see, according to the prison newsletter, Isaiah was sentenced to 45 years at just 16 years old. What actually did he do to earn that super long sentence like the judge had a personal grudge and threw the whole calendar at him? Well, it was really grave. So from the pieces we gathered, it turns out Isaiah was only 16 when he and his friends planned an armed robbery of an Exxon employee named Mohammed Hashemi. Mohammed was just taking cash from the gas station to the bank when Isaiah and another guy rushed his car, pulled guns on him, and forced him to stop. The other guy immediately shot Mohammed, killing him in cold blood. Isaiah then drove Mohammed's van to a second location, where he and his friends burned it after dumping his body like trash. And what did they do with the blood money? Bought drugs, got tattoos, went gambling, then had the audacity to brag about the robbery and murder like it was some kind of achievement. Isaiah got arrested, and then got a plea bargain of 45 years in prison for the murder and robbery, plus 20 years for arson, all in exchange for his testimony at trial. Notice we never really talked about how she met Isaiah Gonzalez. All she did was pop out with a ring one day like, "Surprise, I'm engaged to a convicted murderer." Well, much later, Ash Trevino posted a video breaking down exactly how she met her prison sweetheart.
My fiance, who is incarcerated, I've known him for about 13 years, and this year me and him reconnected again, and one thing led to another. We were writing letters back and forth, just seeing how each other were. I started the conversation. I'm the one that wrote him first, and when he replied, I was so happy. I couldn't wait. We were like, writing each other, telling each other how we felt, and then I finally just had to give it to him. I was just like, I like you. I really like you. I don't want to lose contact anymore. And so, we started chit-chatting a little more. Then, the phone calls started coming, visitations started coming.
So according to her, she's known him for 13 years? If she knew him for 13 years before they got together in 2019, that means she knew him when he was 11 years old. In an old photo she posted, she said, "He has always been a part of my life since he was 12 years old." And she's talking about how they couldn't be together back then because of their ages. Ashley realizes how this sounds because it sounds pretty predatory. So Ash tries to clarify and somehow makes it worse.
Isaiah, he was a family friend. His family always has been friends, okay? They literally... I met him when he was 9. Yes, I met him when he was 9. They started going to our church when he was 9. Okay? Mind you, I'm 6 years older than him. I was with my kid's dad already. I've been with my kid's dad since the age of 13 till I was 26. Okay? I did not have nothing to do with Isaiah until he was 24. Okay? Me and Isaiah did not get together until he was 24. He's always been in my life since he was 9 when they started going to our church. Me and him never talked that way or anything. That's not the case because we were together when he was 24 and he was in prison. I married him in the prison. I was 30. I knew of him because they came to our church when he was 9. Okay?
The fact that she feels the need to explain why there was nothing inappropriate about their relationship should tell you everything you need to know. It's screaming predator. But we'll see how deep this goes as the lore gets even crazier. Just like we predicted, this fairy tale prison marriage didn't last. By 2021, Ash posted on her Instagram that she and her prison lover were getting a divorce. Getting a divorce isn't always a bad thing. Never wanted to do it again, but I am, and I know it. I will come out stronger than before. My babies need me fixing myself back up after being broken down to my lowest by someone who is supposed to love me. Not to be petty, but getting a divorce after all that tats on your arms and fingers, shoving those posts down our throats, don't you think it's a bit funny? Just a bit? But what exactly happened to these two lovebirds? Well, Ash gave a rundown which actually implies that the both were having insecurities they couldn't handle. According to the stories out there, Ash Trevino was talking to other inmates while being married to Isaiah. See, she has so much obsession that she was looking for another prison lover while she has a prison on her arm, allegedly.
So I basically let him have a female to talk to while we were still together. And then finally I was like, I can't do this no more. And he was like, just promise me, like, I'll still talk to you and be your friend if you never get with another inmate. I was like, yeah, I got you. Well, then me and him separated for good. And what did I do? I wrote an inmate. I wrote 2. And he found out.
And so he pushed the divorce. Like, he was like, no, I need to divorce her.
Now, this wasn't Ash's first failed marriage. Before all the prison romance drama, she was actually briefly married to her high school sweetheart, Israel Izzy Gress. As a result of their marriage, they had 2 daughters. Now, briefly was used because Ash and Israel got a divorce. Now, the info out there is that he was really toxic.
He would tell me he was going in with his friends, so I would let him, you know, okay, he made the money, I stayed at home, so, okay, you know, he was the man of the house. So I would sit in the front room, kid you not, after I would put the kids to bed. I would sit in the front room from midnight until 7 in the morning. And I would sit in a chair that he had. I would sit in that room for hours every weekend, looking out that window to see if he was coming home.
But somehow she has custody of the kids, and as far back as 2016, we saw a bit of whinings and complaints about her ex-husband not acting right by their daughters. Like in this post where she complains that her husband doesn't pay child support and doesn't get his kids on the days he's supposed to do so. She posted a write-up with the caption, "I hate that he has no respect and acts like he is the dad of the year." And honestly, this part of her story isn't unusual. Plenty of young marriages don't work out, and single parenthood is incredibly common. But during this time, however, Ash Trevino did some heavy documentation on her private life on Instagram. From posting about her dating life at the time, which could possibly have been the only normal guy she has ever dated since her divorce. In this post, it seems she tattooed his name on her arm because her caption says, "Can't believe I actually got this done. People are gonna judge, but regardless, I know he has me and I got him." But it actually seems like this particular one didn't work out for her, because it didn't even last long, seeing her come angrily at her haters who had stuff to say about her life. In this post she said, "Gonna do me from now on and focus on what's important." And in another post she said, "Keep my name out of your mouth." After Isaiah, Ashley didn't take time to reflect on what went wrong or focus on healing of any sort. Instead, she dove headfirst into dating another inmate, Noe Trevino. The same Trevino that is Ash's last name, because her real last name's Ashley Garcia. The gag here is Noe Trevino was charged for murder just like Isaiah Gonzalez.
On March 29, 2015, Noe was 23 years old and he was outside a nightclub called Old School. So he got into an argument with 2 men and the argument somehow moved into a vacant lot and things got heated. Now, Noe pulled up his shirt to show a knife and everybody kind of backed off. Now, Louis Maston was there with his grandchildren. He was 49 years old. Noe pushed Louis Maston, and Louis Maston pushed him back, and then Noe grabbed Louis and began stabbing him, and he was hurt really badly. And despite the doctor's efforts, he later passed in the hospital.
This is the second murder now. One would wonder, does she not really care about her young daughters and the company they have around them? Guess with Ash Trevino, no one really truly knows anything.
Monday, 25-year-old Noe Trevino was charged with stabbing Louis Maston to death outside a nightclub in 2015.
See, my husband's been charged since 2017. It happened in 2015, you guys. My husband has no other charges. That is my husband.
Of course, in one of her many live streams, she actually explained how long they'd been together and some spicy details about her love life with Noe.
How long were you with him?
2 years.
Damn. While he was in there?
Yeah. I met him while he was in prison.
Damn.
Not long after this marriage ended the same way the first one did, with Ash discovering her husband cheating with another woman.
That's crazy. Why did you guys break up?
I caught him talking to his ex-girlfriend.
That's what I'm saying. I could not trust these men in these jails.
Yeah, so...
Now, Ash moved on from Noah and hopped right into another messy prison love story, which was with Jesse. This time, she went all in, with every cringy detail of their romance packaged as TikTok content.
And then he would go downstairs and get breakfast for me and bring it up. He would make my sandwiches. We went grocery shopping together. And as we're walking in the store, he'd be like, "Fix your clothes right now. Fix yourself." I'd be like, "Sorry. Sorry."
Tonight, or are you gonna go over there and then drive here?
I'll go straight over there.
Okay, so you're gonna drive over here tonight and then stay here.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow you'll leave.
Yeah, you wash all my clothes and shit.
I'm gonna wash your clothes. Okay, yeah.
She was so invested in this relationship that she was making plans before even seeing him in person.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm just saying, I was just gonna share a honest, like, you want to take the time of your day to actually get to know me personally, right? Instead of somebody else painting the picture of me, like, you don't like me. I get energy, get vibes.
No, I don't need them to like you. I don't need them to like you, sir.
Oh my gosh, I'm just saying, like...
The craziest part of this particular one is how she was even planning to get pregnant by a man she'd never met in person, whose release date she was counting down like it was Christmas morning.
Because I'm going to get a room for the whole weekend with us. But we have a baby to make, so we ain't going to be on it. We got a baby to make. Okay? We are literally going to try and get me pregnant the first month he's home.
In the whole of this lore, the one laughable thing we notice is how delusional Ash Trevino is. You definitely cannot take that away from her. Getting pregnant is one thing, but fantasizing about getting pregnant by a man you've never seen before and is in prison for murder is crazy business. But you see, reality has a way of crashing into fantasy, and within 2 weeks the relationship crashed. Allegedly, Jesse broke her trust and he cheated on her. Like we said, allegedly.
One thing that I regret is honestly, and I can't say I regret it, but it is a lesson learned, is bringing Jesse home. Literally. I will continue to say that. I don't regret it, but I do see that as a lesson learned.
After they'd broken up, Ashley claimed she might be pregnant. She was even planning to make her teenage daughter help raise a baby conceived with a man they'd known for 2 weeks. Turns out that pregnancy was just another big lie to keep us drawn to the whole drama.
No, I was honestly pregnant by Jesse. So no, I did not lie about a pregnancy. I actually had a miscarriage last August. I'm happy that it happened because he is not somebody that I would have ever wanted to have a kid with. So.
After the Jesse disaster, Ashley had what appeared to be a moment of self-awareness, and with that, she said she was saying bye-bye to inmates and welcome to a normal life.
I said bye-bye inmates and hello streets.
That coming from Ash Trevino sounds quite weird. Should we be worried? What's next? Turns out the prison boyfriends were only practice runs. The real circus started when she began competing with her own daughters for guys barely out of high school. Let's start with this. Ashley was so jealous of the attention her daughter got from her own father that she took it out on her kid by pulling her hair.
Like, I treated her like crap, and she still loves me, and she still makes videos. If you see her videos, they're like, my mom is the best mom, or like...
Yeah, she posted one today of you guys in the car together.
Yeah, and then she's like, this is how I see my mom, and this is how y'all see my mom. Like, my baby still sees me as, like, her mom that she, you know, like... And little does she know that I used to literally, like, treat her worse than what I treated Evie.
As if the emotional drama wasn't enough, Ashley also managed to throw her daughter's education off track, all while calling it homeschooling. And we're using that word homeschooling loosely here, because nothing about it looked like school.
I feel like some of their friends are jealous because of the life that they have. They don't go to school anymore. They're homeschooled. You know, they can just get up and leave, take a trip.
Ash said at the time she worked 9 to 5 at a dental office, but then, instead of lesson plans or math homework in the evenings, she was live on TikTok for hours. So when exactly was she supposed to be teaching? The short answer is she wasn't. Even her reason for pulling her daughter out of school had nothing to do with academics. Ash admitted it was because her daughter wasn't talking to certain friends anymore. She got fired from a job she'd held for 6.5 years, right before Christmas, and the reason for that is something we'll talk about as we go deep. Well, if you thought Ashley couldn't sink any lower in the parenting department, you thought totally wrong. She actually exposed her minor kids to adult content during her live streams. Some chronic Ash Trevino watchers on TikTok noticed adult toys lying around during her streams, while her children were literally in the background. And when people called her out, Ashley didn't care, and her defense was, "My kids aren't babies." Like, sorry, when did not a baby become a green light for PG-13 decor? But it gets crazier. With Ash Trevino, everything always gets worse. Ash also went live while someone was being intimate in her car, and when people pointed out she was basically streaming adult content to an audience that included minors, she still didn't give a damn. This continued to go on, with Ash being unhinged in almost all her live streams, and it was pissing people off. Really bad. She truly got tons of haters for this reason. So of course it didn't take long for Child Protective Services to step in. Viewers were so shocked that they started filing reports themselves. When random strangers on the internet are more worried about your kids than you are, then you're probably really cooked. But if you know Ash, you know the pattern. Instead of reflecting, she chalked it up to jealous haters and moved on. Owning her mistakes has never really been her thing. From that moment on, CPS became a regular guest star in her story. Instead of treating it like a wake-up call, she leaned into it, turning the investigations into content and using them to play the victim.
Y'all are really trying to get my kids taken from me, and it's not gonna happen. Do you know how many CPS cases I've had on me in the last 4 months, and I still have custody of my kids?
Like, you do understand when you call CPS, you have to have actual proof that they're in an unfit condition, right? Like, you really have to have proof that my kids are really being not taken care of. You do understand that, right? For those of y'all that love to call CPS on me, y'all do understand. You have to have proof that my kids are in harm's way, my kids are this, my kids are that, y'all really have to have proof.
For most parents, even one visit from CPS would be terrifying. For Ashley, it was almost like bragging rights, some kind of proof that she was persecuted, rather than a sign her parenting might be a problem. She even went further to insist that if CPS can't prove her kids are in an unfit condition, then she's obviously a good mom. The problem is, Ash herself provides the evidence. She live streams her entire life, the whole dysfunction. It's all right there on camera for thousands of people to see. Like we see you documenting your own parenting failures in real time, Ash.
She's a bad mom, but at the end of the day, do I have any charges on me? No, I don't. My kids have never been taken away from me, thank God. My kids have never been taken away from me. My kids have always been with me, and a lot of y'all spread rumors and say that CPS took my kids from me. Baby, CPS has never taken my kids. Yes, I've had like 20 CPS cases. They dismissed them all. Because you know why? My kids are in good hands. My kids are taken care of. My kids do not need, they don't want for nothing. My kids, I came home today with 3 gifts for my kids, and I gave it to them already. And it was all Hello Kitty stuff.
At some point, you'd think she'd stop and ask herself, wait, maybe the problem isn't everyone calling CPS. Maybe the problem is me. But instead, Ashley points out that all the cases were dismissed, which she spins into proof she's a good mother. Something even crazier, perhaps funny too, is when people question her parenting, Ashley's response is the same every time. She flashes material possessions. She points to gifts she's bought her daughters, as if a shopping spree proves she's doing a good job. But buying a Hello Kitty hoodie doesn't erase being a terrible mom. It never will. And the fact that she feels the need to constantly defend herself over basics, like whether her kids even have beds, shows that the conditions those children are living in could be insane. If you want to see Ash's worst parenting decisions come together in one night, let's take a look at Thanksgiving 2024. On this night, Ash took her kids to El Paso to spend the holiday with a woman she called Tia. But Tia wasn't family. She wasn't even an old friend. Tia was a TikTok acquaintance Ash barely knew. The situation quickly got riskier because while streaming inside Tia's home, Ash revealed enough details for a viewer to track down her exact location. That viewer then showed up in person. Now the thing is, any responsible parent would have cut the stream, locked the doors, and probably left the house. Ash did the opposite. She treated it like an exciting meetup and then decided to go bar hopping with this person, leaving her kids behind in the care of people they had met only hours earlier.
53. Kiki. Black. Black shirt. Get out of my house! Don't! Get out! Don't! Rob! Get out of my house! Don't touch my Tia.
I touch
Get out! Okay. Okay.
At the bar, another TikToker named Mariposa showed up. She had ongoing drama with Ash. Instead of avoiding trouble, Ash got into a fight with her. Not only was she fighting in public, she was live streaming it all while her children sat alone in a stranger's house.
Nobody was scared because the pulled my hair. It's the whole thing about being ghetto, okay? This ghetto as fuck. And I'm sorry, but this was ghetto. She was a Mexican and she was ghetto, okay?
When she finally returned hours later, her younger daughter had developed a fever and needed care. Her older daughter wasn't even in the house anymore. Instead of dealing with that, Ash was pulled into even more drama when Tia's ex-boyfriend showed up and allegedly became violent. Thanksgiving night revealed the core problem with Ashley's behavior. At every step, she put her entertainment, her drinking, and her live streams above her daughter's safety.
At home with them. So now I'm a bad mom for leaving. First off, my kids are of age. Third off, they are good, and I deserve a night out. If I want to go out right now until 3 o'clock in the morning, it's 1 o'clock right now, my kids are good, okay? If I want to sit outside in the back of my tia's house and drink until 4 in the morning, my kids are good. Call whoever y'all need to call, but my kids are taken care of.
Now, this could have been a story about a young mom trying to fix her life, maybe doing better for her kids. Instead, what we got was, well, the circus you're about to see.
Okay, I don't think I'm feeling the boots. No.
Remember that little setup from earlier, where we mentioned Ash competing with her daughters for attention from boys barely out of high school? Yeah, sit tight, because now we meet Santos. Santos is a club promoter and TikToker from LA, and he somehow became the star of the messiest chapter in Ash's saga. Ashley's daughter had the most harmless crush on him, but then she made the mistake of telling Ash. And instead of laughing it off like most moms, or maybe sharing a funny story about her own teen crush, Ashley went, "Oh, thanks for the idea, I'll take him for myself." And she did.
Carlita, thank you. Ojito, thank you.
MVP 70, you gotta go with Nina, Nate, Cassie, follow me, Ray.
Yo, turn it off.
What do you have on?
I don't have nothing on.
That's your razor thing.
No, I don't have nothing here. Nothing here.
Guys, he's lying.
Yo, why are you looking at me like that?
Not only did she chase him, she even made a song with him. A whole song. The song is called Nunu. It features Ash, Santos, and someone named Miss Gold.
You wanna know how it smells? Ask Santos. You know it smell well.
We're not going to play the whole thing, because nobody deserves that level of suffering, but let's just say the lyrics are nasty, like way too much detail about Ashley's body and hinting at Santos' experience with her. Imagine your mom dropping that track with your crush. Damn, that's a whole trauma with a beat. Of course, the people of the internet would never look over something like this, so they called her out, but like always, Ash pulled her usual move. She didn't take responsibility, she came swinging. Everyone else was the problem, she was the victim, and the internet was just jealous.
These trolls don't like me, but oh well. Hey trolls, I did it again.
But then came the live stream that made everything worse. Over 13,000 people were watching when Ashley decided to expose herself to Santos. She flashed him live on purpose. Real ones know that wasn't some wardrobe slip. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she turned TikTok into OnlyFans for free. That one moment cost her dearly. Someone sent the footage to her employer, and after 6.5 years on the job, she was fired. In Ash's mind, though, the villains were the people who reported her, not her own decision to broadcast her behavior.
So yes, I did have a 9 to 5. Up until y'all got me fired. And yeah, I'm saying y'all because y'all sent him videos and pictures of me. So.
But losing her job wasn't the only fallout. She also lost her family, her mother who had taken care of the kids and almost every other person in her family. Things escalated even more when Santos decided to fly out to Texas to meet her in person. And of course, in true Ash Trevino fashion, they live streamed the entire event.
Are y'all jealous because I'm in the same room as him or what?
Do the thing, do that.
Okay, no tongue, please. No tongue. We want the tongue in the mouth. We want it to stay in the mouth.
Now put yourself in her daughter's shoes. You had a cute little crush on this guy, totally innocent, and suddenly you're watching your mom livestream herself meeting him in person. Ashley took what should have been her daughter's harmless teen fantasy and turned it into a public disaster for all of us to see. But it gets worse. While hanging out with Ashley, Santos started asking for expensive gifts like a PlayStation 5 and a stack of games. Most people would take that as a red flag, but Ashley treated it like a cute little request from one of her kids. Instead of thinking, oh wait, this guy is probably milking me, she was like, sure honey, do you want the controller in red or black?
You are gonna get the PS5 and anything else you want.
Okay, I'm so happy.
How many games do you want?
Hey, what game that we've not got? The GTA 6 coming out right now? GTA 6? Black Ops 6?
What other games?
What other? 2K. Can I get 2K too?
Now, as if recording an explicit track with him and wrecking her relationship with her daughter wasn't enough, Ashley had to go one step further, bragging about sleeping with the same man her daughter had a crush on. It's the kind of thing that really does burn bridges. What daughter's ever coming back from that?
How does that make you feel? Just kidding. It's just the elevate.
By Christmas 2024, you'd think Ash's Chaos arc would have reached its final season. Nope. Instead of unwrapping gifts with her kids, her holiday turned into another full-blown disaster. Concerned commenters of TikTok, who had basically been forced into unpaid babysitter roles all year, noticed things were looking crazy all over again. They picked up the phone and called the cops, because at this point, calling the police on Ash had become as common as sending a holiday card. When officers showed up at her house, they asked the usual questions, checked IDs, the whole routine. And this is where Santos decided to show off his genius. Instead of giving them his real ID, he handed over a fake one. The officers weren't fooled for a second. They confiscated it and ran his real info. And that's when the big reveal dropped. Santos wasn't 22. He wasn't 24 either. He was 19. 19! The same age Ash was when she became a mom. When Ash found out the truth, she didn't freak out, show shock or regret. She brushed it off like it was nothing. So according to Ashley, Santos lied about his age. She claimed she had no idea he was 19. But come on, given her track record with the truth, that's laughable. And even if we believe her little innocent act, the moment she found out the truth, what did she do? Any normal parent would have shut it down immediately. But Ashley shrugged it off like it was no big deal and kept the whole thing rolling. And when we say kept going, she doubled down hard.
Santos is 22. Yes, I know. He's 22. I'm 35. Yes, he knows. I know. We know our age difference, okay?
But Santos isn't some one-off mistake. He's a part of a disturbing thread. Ash has over 1 million followers across her TikTok accounts, pulling tens of thousands into her live streams. Those numbers give her cover to normalize this twisted behavior. The more attention she gets, the more reckless she becomes. That's what makes this genuinely terrifying. The Santos situation should have been a massive wake-up call to young creators thinking Ashley could boost their clout. Instead, it became a blueprint for whoever's desperate enough to be next. And wouldn't you know it, someone else was already waiting in the wings. DKane was next. This DKane guy is another TikToker with 1.7 million followers who built his platform on lip-sync videos. For reasons that completely boggle the mind, Ash saw him as her next big conquest. But the twist about it is, DKane came with a little fashion accessory, an ankle monitor. For Ashley, we already know that wasn't a red flag. It was apparently part of the appeal.
DKane, the infamous Galaxy guy, was arrested on 3 different charges for intent to promote child inappropriate pictures of children. Yeah, he was arrested. He was literally arrested.
Things went off hook with DKane when she had a meet and greet in San Antonio and she almost got arrested. The day started innocently enough. Ash was at a mall taking pictures with fans, but then her crew tried to eat at an upscale restaurant. Management probably took one look at them live streaming and carrying on like lunatics and said absolutely not. They refused service, which honestly was the smartest move they could have made. That restaurant probably saved itself from becoming part of the disaster that was about to happen. So instead, Ashley's group rolled up to the Rainforest Cafe. But the joy ended real quick. According to the gist, some woman approached their table and started arguing with Ash. Things escalated fast, and someone called the police. At this point, it got serious. When cops showed up, they discovered that DKane had a firearm on him. Yes, an actual gun. With his criminal record, Ash, being her usual self, tried to spin the whole mess. She wanted people to see her as this caring, loyal friend, because she bailed out the ones who got arrested. That's like setting a house on fire and then bragging because you called the fire department anyway. Meanwhile, DKane now had fresh weapons charges stacked on top of his existing assault cases.
But DKane had their own bag, and they had their own pew-pew in their bag. And his girlfriend took the blame for that bag. And then when she was going to get arrested, she turned around and told DKane, just tell him it's yours, I can't go to jail. And I said, look, we'll get you out, just go. And DKane was like, he didn't say nothing. He goes, just go and I'll take you out. And so that's when she went, and then the cop comes back and she's like, who's Josiah? And we were like, I don't know. And she goes, don't act dumb. And we're like, we don't know. We know each other by nicknames because we're on TikTok.
So who's Josiah?
And it was DKane. He goes, that's me.
Oh.
And he was in the back of us. And so he comes up and she's like, come here, let me talk to you. And then that's when she arrested him.
Well, if you think that means this story is wrapping up, you'd be dead wrong. Before anyone could even catch their breath from that disaster, Ash was already hunting for her next victim. Along comes Max, a 23-year-old she'd never even met face-to-face. Their entire relationship existed through live streams.
Work with us. If you were to do long distance, how does that work?
With me and you?
Yeah.
I mean, I would try to see you as much as I could. I don't work, so.
That's true. I do. I'm very busy all the time, so that's also why I haven't texted you. So, and I do text you. Let me rephrase.
I mean, I could come like twice a month and like get a hotel and then just be there, and then whenever you come, you can. I don't know.
Well, we'll talk about that later. I'm going to bed right now, and we'll talk about it without 7,000 people watching us. So.
What made this one extra gross was how fast Ashley tried to squeeze Max into her brand. She was already planning to drag him into her explicit content, treating him like the next prop in her online circus. When people called out the obvious that Max was clearly just chasing clout, Ash quickly made it known to everybody that he was paying her. Max went along with it for a bit. He even appeared on a podcast with Ash and her daughters, but that's when reality smacked him in the face. He now understood why everyone seemed to be avoiding the Ash Trevino. This woman literally has zero boundaries between private life and public entertainment, and he wasn't at all comfortable with it.
All right, now it's my turn to get talked about. Lord, I told her don't talk about me. I said don't talk about me. Don't talk about me.
After a while of enjoying the little he got from this, Max stepped away from all of it. Just like every other guy before him, he figured out the price was way too high, and probably how much it would damage him in the long run. It's the same broken record every single time. Ashley chases validation through these younger guys, convinced each one will magically fix whatever's eating at her inside. Sure, she's obviously carrying some serious baggage that needs professional help. And if you're wondering why Ash Trevino happens to be the way she is, she claims her obsession with dating inmates began because she used to visit prisons as a child to see her dad's best friend, and constantly watch the TV show Cops. According to her, this somehow conditioned her to be drawn to bad boys and pursue relationships with men in prison. But the predatory behavior is something we can't quite wrap our hands around.
Just growing up, I was always visiting prisons to visit my dad's best friend. I would always watch cop shows like the TV show Cops. I would always watch that show. I always watched like crime documentaries. I always watched like 911. So like I was always into that kind of stuff since I was a young girl. And then as I got older, I just had this thing to be with somebody incarcerated. Like, I don't know, I liked bad boys, okay?
In the end, Ash Trevino turned her life into a spectacle of chaos, prison romances, family drama, and public breakdowns, all for attention.
Fish out of water looking at it.
Buy my baby some shoes.
Hello?
911, what's your emergency?
I'm so tired of heartbreak that I thought someone makes me high. Say hi, little crawfish. Say hi, little crawfish.
Baby Cora, I hope you're seeing this from hell. Your mama don't even miss you.
I like to eat my doo-doo.
This TikToker with over 1 million followers staged her daughter's death live in front of her audience.
So Cora Miracle is dead, and the situation is just over, but I thought I'd do one last goodbye, one last let go.
She also manipulated her 4-month-old baby for flirting with her boyfriend.
When she was like a month and a half old, she was constantly flirting with my boyfriend.
Claimed that her daughter lost her virginity to the same man.
When she was 4 months old, that's when they finally had sex. She lost her virginity.
And then decided to make some money off her by letting older men sleep with her for $300.
So I started pimping her out. I started making that change. I started making that little money off that little. So I was getting paid big bucks. Men were paying like $300 a piece. Some of these men were paying $300 a piece, close to $500 a piece, just to get some from that.
What disturbed everyone was how Lovely Peaches loved doing all of this, and when she ran out of disturbing ideas, she took her drama offline by breaking into a Cuban-American influencer's home.
I'm by myself. I have no family. So that's how you know motherfuckers do shit like that to me.
Harassing people in public.
Oh, this is yours. I'm gonna say.
Assaulted their pets, and eating her own poop. Sure, the internet was horrified, but shockingly, her follower count grew as people kept watching to see what she'd do next.
Did a couple of tapes, did a couple DVDs, made a couple mistakes. Didn't know what I was doing.
Let's see what we got here. Ooh.
Even commented that they still care for her and called her a really nice person.
Oh my god. Peaches, can you say hi to Olivia Mack and Kalantra?
Hi, Olivia Mack and Casa. I love you.
So this in return convinced Peaches to do anything to entertain her fans, specifically eating a used sanitary pad and period-stained underwear. or licking her clients' toes in such a disgusting way.
Feel sucking the shit out of my foot, bro. Look at it.
Daddy?
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt that Peaches is a living meme because of the nasty stuff she does for attention. In 2019, she became a meme again when her song Burnin' and Itchin' went viral on TikTok. The song, which was inspired by her STD symptoms, surprisingly was being sung by famous TikTokers. Apart from that, Peaches worked as a tax worker mainly because she wanted to spread STD to her clients. Her mission was for her clients to pass the diseases to their wives.
Are you crying just because we have AIDS?
Please, you playing my bitch, please.
Stop crying, you fool. It ain't that serious.
AIDS is serious.
It was as if her cruelty had no limits, because she killed her dog and performed a ritual like dancing with the dead dog. She would also create content around her poor personal hygiene and weird kinks. This was why she quickly became famous. For example, this video of her drinking her urine had thousands of views.
Yeah, I'm about to do it.
And from there, things took a dark turn. What am I watching? Who is she? Is she Peaches? It's Peaches, but her real name is Brittany Johnson, a name that millions of her followers would recognize as a sex worker and someone who is a danger to her child. Peaches found herself pregnant at 17 and decided to keep the baby, but not because she wanted her. This was a chance for her to become famous, so she used shocking stories about her daughter to get attention.
Hi. So I just had baby Cora. Sorry, sweetie.
She was desperate for fame, and she loved attention. Her love attention-seeking attitude was like a disease because it had poisoned her soul. She started featuring her infant daughter in her videos. However, it wasn't in the creative way most influential moms do.
Bro. Okay, so literally, my daughter, I remember the first time she called me mom, and I had spit in her face. And I said, she's just a dirty little piece of shit.
Peaches' brightest idea was to say trashy things about her baby, Cora Miracle.
Honestly, Cora, you screwed. You were screwed. You thought you was gonna come into this world and make my life live in hell? No. I'm thinking of punish my baby. Like, I feel like she's been beat, spit on. Like, all that is old. I gotta think of new ways to make that suffer. Cause at this point, she used to getting beat.
This was her most disturbing and sickening idea. She shared vivid lies about physically and sexually assaulting her child.
When the doctors first handed me that piece of shit, I said to myself, I really want to see her have sex with a man. But like I was saying, I tried to sell my baby and the sex trafficking when she was alive. She was molested very often. I did get paid to get her molested. These men were paying me to have sex with her because she was very nice looking to them.
She would also post about her daughter's abuse on her social media accounts. On Instagram, she wrote, "Talk to you guys later. About to put wax toys in my daughter's sushi. Thank you, Judge. At this point, we want to warn you. Brace yourself because her confessions will make your skin crawl and your stomach turn."
Okay, so Cora Miracle, she's 2 years old. She's my daughter. When I gave birth to Cora Miracle, I automatically knew that she was a piece of shit. She's worthless. She's ugly. Her head is huge. Like, okay. I already knew I hated the but I never really did anything about it.
It began with her making videos about her pregnancy journey and her child's birth. At first, it sounded like a mother reliving the moment she had her precious daughter, but her narration turned dark when she started talking about how she assaulted her child.
This is what happened. Cora Miracle, she came home with me. I wasn't very happy or pleased with what I gave birth to. So when I had her alone, I pretended like I was giving her a bath. So in case I had to talk to any police or doctors, I could say it was an accident. So you know what I'm saying? So I put her in the tub.
Peaches said that she threw Cora on the floor. Then she mentioned that she cut off her umbilical cord and the baby had to be rushed to the hospital.
So I kind of rubbed it all over my hands. I grabbed her and I literally dropped her like this in the sink, and she was crying her ass off. Like, she almost busted her head wide open. She was crying. She was in a lot of pain. So I found that completely hilarious. My family made me take her to the doctor the next day because she was in a lot of pain. But like I said, I had an alibi. The soap was slippery. So that's what I told them. They checked her out. She was fine. A few bruises. And I was cleared for it being an accident. Secondly, her umbilical cord, I cut it off with scissors. You know, you're supposed to let it fall off, but I cut that bitch off with scissors.
According to Peaches, after she cut off her daughter's umbilical cord, it became infected. Her stomach was hurting terribly because it had been cut off too soon.
They did give me medicine because her tummy was hurting and stuff. Apparently it was a open thing because I cut it off early. And you're supposed to let it fall off, which I knew that, but I want her to suffer.
The baby was given some medication at the hospital, but Peaches didn't want to give her baby the medication because she wanted her to be in pain and to suffer. However, her family ensured that she did. From there, the punishments became harsher because her goal was to make her child suffer as much as possible. Peaches confessed that whenever her baby woke up crying at night, she would pinch her skin really hard.
I used to pinch her skin. If she woke me up at 3 a.m., I would literally throw her to the floor, or I would pinch her skin really hard, and she would cry. I used to choke her, slap her, punch her, all type of things when she was a few days old.
She hated being woken up at night, especially as early as 3 a.m., and the punishment for that was choking and slapping her little girl. One time, Cora woke Peaches up at 3 a.m., and she was so mad that she grabbed her little arms and tried to break them.
I remember one time she woke me up at 3 a.m. and I was really pissed off, so I grabbed her by her arm and I jerked her out of her little crib. I grabbed her arm, I jerked that hoe out her crib, and damn near broke her arm off. And
it didn't stop there. She left her baby at home and she went out to party. Fortunately, a neighbor noticed that she had abandoned the child, so she called the cops.
Like I said, I had got in trouble because I left her at home by herself, and she was on the swing, swinging. And I left her home by herself, and the swing was on the floor, and she was halfway out the swing, and one of the neighbors saw her because I left the door open. So one of the neighbors was passing by with their nosy ass, called the police because they saw her on the floor.
The abuse didn't end with child neglect. Peaches claimed that her boyfriend was attracted to her daughter when he first laid eyes on her as a newborn. He described the baby as sexy and beautiful and wanted to touch her inappropriately. Peaches told him she was too young and that he should wait until she was a few months old.
When my boyfriend laid eyes on her, he said she was very sexy, very beautiful, and that he really wanted to be with her. And I said, not yet, because she's only a few days old, and I don't want her to be in too much pain due to the fact that police are very, how they are about things of that nature.
She claimed that her baby constantly flirted with her boyfriend.
When she was like a month and a half old, she was constantly flirting with my boyfriend, and she did it for literally months. Like, he would change her diaper, she would be flirting with him, and literally just like looking at him, basically trying to get him to touch on her.
But it was when her daughter was 4 months old that she lost her virginity, because she gave her boyfriend permission to molest her. She also cheered him on while she watched her daughter bleed and cry in pain.
So she was flirting with him for a really long time. When she was 4 months old, that's when they finally had sex. She lost her virginity. And after that, she basically had sex with my boyfriend, and that's when it all went downhill.
Here's another sick part. She enjoyed beating her daughter for wanting her boyfriend to touch her. How the freak are you laughing at the fact that you beat your daughter? You're such a horrible human being, and you deserve to rot in jail. How does a 4-month-old want a grown man to touch her in a dirty way? Afterwards, Peaches claimed that she allowed her clients to touch her daughter sexually so she could pay her rent. She took $300 from every man who slept with her child.
I started making some money off this little hoe since she wanted to be a little dirty ass little hoe. So I started pimping her out. I started making money off of it. I enjoyed watching her get a lot of times. I would actually smile and she would get, and I could see the pain in her eyes. She would look at me with so much pain and fear in her eyes, and all I would do is just smile. I was like...
She made up stories about harming her child. Then she even released a 3-part video series about those lies. She said her family didn't know she was harming her child because she was careful not to leave bruises on her skin.
Basically, I told him I'm going to feed her. I'm going to go warm a bottle and feed her. You guys can go back to sleep, because she was crying really, really loud. And normally they'll take her and bring her into their room and let her sleep in there when she gets fussy at 3 a.m. But I did not want them to see the bruises or the pinches on her skin. So I said, you know what, I'm going to take her, yada, yada, yada.
She was almost exposed when she pulled off her child's entire fingernail, but she convinced her family that it was an accident. Peaches told them she was trying to trim the baby's fingernail when it came off.
One time I was with Cora and I just wanted to do anything to hurt her, and I had pulled her whole entire fingernail off. And it was kind of hard to explain what happened. You know how a lot of times like babies' fingernails grow and they say you're supposed to bite the fingernails off? Well, I had to come up with something. I was trying to trim her fingernails and I made a mistake and took her whole nail off.
Apart from her 6 stories of torturing her daughter, she called her daughter really troubling names like hoe and worthless.
Today is my daughter's 2nd birthday, so happy birthday, you nasty little worthless whore. Love, Mommy. Mwah.
She said that right from the moment she gave birth to her little girl, she knew that she was worthless. From insults, she moved to something unthinkable. She tried to sell her daughter to sex traffickers.
And I decided I wanted to get rid of her for good. But what I meant by that is that I wanted to sell her into sex trafficking to get her out of my hair. I started meeting up with pimps.
As if that wasn't bad enough, she started thinking of her killing her daughter.
I was at one point, I was going to kill her intentionally, because I didn't kill her intentionally. But I was going to kill her intentionally, but I didn't know that I could make a lot of money off her.
What drove her was the fear that her daughter was going to have a good life. Since she didn't have the kind of life she wanted as a child, she wanted her daughter to suffer. As horrible as it sounded, the truth is it was all a lie.
Look it up. Well, most of you already know anyways if you're watching this video. Anyways, I said certain things. And first of all, I want to clear it up that I've never done any of the things that I said I did, the bad things. I've never done any of the bad things I said I did. I was basically just like, you know, trolling.
Peaches' daughter, Cora, lived with her family. Her father had custody of her daughter because she ran away from home. The first time she ran away from home, she was 13. That's because her mother passed away.
How long have you been living on your own? I have been on my own since I was 13 years old. I'm 18 years old now.
Then at 17, Peaches ran away again after having her baby. She was also battling depression, so when she returned, she wasn't allowed to have custody of her child.
Not for no problems. Have you ever been diagnosed with anything?
Hey, I needed something, and there you go. It's gonna be a great moment.
Just depression.
Depression, bipolar, or anything like that?
Just depression.
Just depression.
And then anxiety.
Anxiety?
But she was allowed to visit her during Thanksgiving and Christmas. The videos she had made of her and her daughter were taken during those short visits.
My daughter is and always has been good. She lives with her grandfather, who I'm very close to. I'm able to go over there whenever I want. I last saw her on Thanksgiving. I went there for Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Maybe out of bitterness or wanting to fight back, she made up these dark stories of assaulting her daughter who wasn't in her care. But some of her fans couldn't stand her lies anymore. The fact that she make up this whole elaborate story still makes me sick. Sick in the head or not, I am dragging her. She gained people's attention. The videos of her daughter's abuse went viral, making her $1,000 every week.
So anyways, my personal messages with the pimp eventually went viral. Some of our personal messages, personal phone calls. I was able to get myself out of trouble with that, and I eventually continued doing what I was doing. Basically, Cora was going to make me rich.
Peaches was so caught up in her fantasy that she was convinced that her baby was bullying her, and all the crazy stuff she had made up was her way of defending herself.
At me because of you. You are starting this shit on me. You got motherfuckers coming at me because they look at you as being innocent because you portray yourself as an innocent person. You portray yourself as being innocent. Honestly, if I was y'all, I would take her side too, because she portrays herself as the innocent person.
She made a separate YouTube channel to post the 3-part series about Cora Miracle, which included horrible claims of her baby sleeping with her boyfriend.
With my man. And the thing is, this is not the first time she did it. And now she's doing it again, and I just feel like, where is the loyalty? Where is the love? Like, it's just kind of messed up to me because I feel like after a while you start to grow up.
She even claimed that her toddler got pregnant, so she was about to become a grandmother.
So I might be a grandmother soon because my daughter think that she's pregnant. And I'm just so excited because I never thought I would be a grandmother. So I might be a grandmother soon. So congratulations to me. I'm so excited.
She really wanted people to believe she was capable of anything, so she went deeper with her lies. She told her fans that she sometimes bathed her child with really hot water or bleach.
I used to run really, really hot bath water, and I would let her sit there for a little while. I used to pour bleach on her, but not that much because, like I said, you ain't trying to get arrested. You know, you ain't trying to have all these marks on your child's body. But
Then her daughter would look at her with so much pain and fear in her eyes, and she would smile because she enjoyed watching her suffer. She didn't post these stories on her main YouTube channel because she knew it could be taken down, and she kept reposting it to get people to continue to talk about her.
First, well, if you want to know some other things, I did post like 4 other videos. I posted the story of Cora Miracle part 1 and part 2. This is technically part 3 in my final video. But you want to watch those videos before I delete them or find them on the internet somewhere, because I will be deleting this whole entire channel like nothing ever happened. This will be over with in about a few hours when I deactivate the channel.
To make her story more believable, a few weeks later she posted that her daughter had died. Peaches said she had accidentally murdered her child.
Yes, I did kill my baby, but there are 2 sides to every story. The day I killed my baby, we got into a really bad argument. We were arguing, and we got into a fight, and I just got the best of her. I wrapped my hands around her throat, and that was that. She wasn't breathing no more.
That shocking statement was the final straw. Her family stepped in, restricting how much access she had to her daughter, but she couldn't help telling these sick lies. So, how did the child die? Peaches said she choked her to death. According to her, they got into an argument which turned into a fight, and she wrapped her hands around her child's neck until she stopped breathing.
I kind of went overboard, and I got so freaking angry with her, and I grabbed her by the throat, and I choked that hoe for about a minute straight.
Then she tried to revive her by slapping her around. When the child didn't regain consciousness, she freaked out because she didn't know what her fans and family would think of her.
Anyways, she stopped breathing, and I tried to bring her back. I tried CPR. I slapped her a few times, and she was gone. And I was kind of freaking out because I didn't know what my family would think, what my fans would think, or even just acquaintances or just viewers, what they would think.
In her head, Cora was dead. She passed away before her first birthday, and she needed to convince herself that she was alive. So she used her daughter's photos as a wallpaper and screensaver. She even said that she was brokenhearted and grieving for her.
So I will continue to post pictures of my baby because I'm grieving. And now you know what happened, because you can't find out what happened from anybody else but the actual mom.
And even though she was upset about losing her daughter, she was excited that she wouldn't be responsible for her anymore.
I'm not worried about losing her. It's about all the money I lost.
She said she didn't intentionally kill her and that it wasn't her fault because mistakes happen. She also mentioned that she was a teen mom, and she was proof that teen moms are terrible.
Mistakes happen as parents, and I'm a teen mother. Teen moms are terrible parents. This is what happened with This is what happens to teen mothers. This is what happens to teen mothers. Teen mothers aren't good moms. I'm proof of that.
She ensured that she made her viewers know the video wasn't a joke, a prank, or staged, but that was exactly what it was, a rage bait. Peaches wanted to get people to react, and that was why she kept reposting the videos so people would continue to talk about them.
This video is not a joke. I know I joke a lot, so I'm getting it out there now. This video is not a joke. Everything I said, I was 100% serious. This is not an April Fool's prank. This is not a childish joke. I'm being 100% serious because I'm just done.
The truth is that some of her fans enabled her ill behaviors. This comment is proof of that. One of her loyal fans had said, "I'm so happy that Cora has been dealt with and put out of the way. She was always annoying us when she'd be interfering in Peach's lives, screaming and crying and hollering and begging for milk. It's not Peach's job to take care of another human being. Cora had what she had coming for her. It's time to let the past go and move on." However, not everyone was on her side. Many viewers voiced their anger and disapproval. One viewer said that she knows that Cora isn't dead, but she wouldn't like seeing the videos her mother made about her when she grows up. It would certainly be heartbreaking for the girl knowing her mother hated her so much. Another upset viewer wanted to know why she wasn't in jail for her actions. Why is she laughing about this? Put her in jail. Like this viewer, you're probably wondering why no one reported her to the police. The truth is, her entire career was built on shocking stunts, and people often dismissed her behavior as just another act. These stunts made her famous. There are several controversial videos of her, and this is someone who has eaten a roach.
Y'all, I just ate the most delicious roach. He had kind of like a Cajun style with him. Like, he kind of tasted like, I'll have to say, just kind of spicy.
She also claimed to have made out with her sister, and does really disgusting stuff.
So first of all, please don't judge me, but me and my sister used to, you know what I mean?
So when she started talking about abusing her daughter, her viewers knew it was a prank and that Cora wasn't in danger. But they became suspicious when the videos got graphic and the details started becoming awful. Also, in all 3 videos, she kept talking about the same things over and over, which made people start to think that there was some truth in what she was saying.
You need to be locked in prison for a very long time. You need the internet taken away from you. You are a danger to society.
Aside from the fact that she was making up wild tales about her daughter, she composed a diss track for her birthday.
You call her Cora Miracle, but I call her Cora Mira Ho. Let's go. Cora used to. She thinks she lit. She thinks she the shit. But ho, you ain't shit. You ain't bout shit. You can suck my d- cause you ain't lit. This make me sick. She thinks she all that. But little you can't even scrap. When I slapped you in your face, you looked at me stupid.
No one should ever say these words to a child. A lot of people started talking about saving Cora, even if the things her mother was saying were made up. Hence, many people began a petition calling for her to be banned and for her child to be taken from her care. How this works is that a group of people would write a formal request to the government or authorities to take action. Activist groups such as Children's Riot and the Salvation Foundation took up the matter. They created awareness to save Cora from her mother.
Need help. I just became aware of a number of videos on social media posted by a person by the name of Lovely Peaches. I can't verify if they are true or false, but those videos are among the most disgusting and repulsive videos I've ever seen. Lovely Peaches, this is for you, so pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you. You need to know that I will do everything in my power to rescue your child from your satanic hold on her, and I promise you I will find you and see that you are arrested, indicted, convicted, and sentenced. Don't think for a moment.
Over 100,000 people signed the petition to have Cora removed from her mother's care. Cora Miracle is a 4-month-old child in need of a new home away from Brittany Johnson. A lot of people felt that if Cora grew up in her care, she would turn out to be like her. They didn't want her to be exposed to her mother's attention-seeking behavior. But to everyone's utter shock, they found out that Cora wasn't in her custody. According to the Salvation Foundation, Cora is safe and alive. They also revealed that the child was in the custody of Peaches' family. Also, everything she had been saying were all lies and imaginary tales.
So I punched her, and we was just arguing back and forth, and she didn't fight me back. She was literally just laying on the bed looking at me, slapping her.
This comment, which was left on the Change.org petition, rightly sums up why she told such outrageous lies. It reads, "She is a mentally struggling young adult and a teen mom who is doing everything possible to become famous and make money to support her daughter. After the stunts she pulled, her visitation rights were canceled, and people even campaigned on social media and wrote petitions that she should be arrested and banned from social media. Because if someone could confess to commit such serious crimes for fame, and the police did nothing about it, what's stopping other creators from doing the same? Sure, she lost her social media accounts, but she wasn't arrested. However, losing custody of her child and her social media account didn't make her change her ways. She probably thought that since she got away with it, she was untouchable."
Me because of you. You are starting this shit on me. You got motherfuckers coming at me because they look at you as being innocent because you portray yourself as an innocent person. You portray yourself as being innocent. Honestly, if I was y'all, I would take her side too because she portrays herself as the innocent person.
She even boasted that no one could tell her story better, and that was why she was sharing them herself. But eventually the law caught up with her, not for child-related claims, but for animal cruelty, which led to a warrant for her arrest. In 2021, she was taken into custody on charges of abusing her 6-month-old puppy, but this wouldn't be the first time she would torture her pets. Back in 2018, she posted that she killed her dog. She demonstrated how she took the dog's life. She pretended as if she was knocking herself out. Then she performed a ritual like dancing with the dead dog.
Peaches actually posted a video of her choking her dog. I don't know why that's what it took for the world to open their eyes and turn against her, but everyone, including most of her followers, were finding ways to help that dog. Some people even going so far as to trying to find the location that she was currently in. Twitter was going crazy, posting different photos of her where she was at, but finally the police decided to step in and they met her at her apartment.
Apparently, she had also performed some sexual acts on the dead dog. A Twitter user recalls how she forced the dog to perform oral sex on her. There is a video of Lovely Peaches forcing her puppy to lick her genitals, and she did the same to the dog. No one had any real proof of the things she claimed to have done to her dog, so the issue died when she started another controversy. However, in 2021, footage of Peaches abusing her 6-month-old Jack Russell Terrier started circulating. In her usual ways, she started talking about how she was assaulting her puppy, and she seemed so proud of herself.
Honestly made me too angry. We were walking and he stopped and peed in the grass, and I told him, don't pee in the grass. So we went back. When we finally got back inside, I took one of his legs and I broke it in half. And it was honestly very easy to break. So he started screaming in pain. So I broke his other leg to make him be quiet, but he just started screaming even louder. So now he's in the bathtub in the hot water.
In this video, she roughly picked up the puppy by his neck. She claimed that she had broken the dog's legs, and in another live stream she sprayed perfume in the poor creature's eyes. She promised her fans that she would eat the dog if it died. Later on, she made a heartbreaking confession that she lost her dog.
Max is no longer with us. I just lost control. I'll tell the full story tomorrow, but all his stuff has been disposed of except for that little puppy mat there.
She also announced the dog's passing on Instagram with the caption, "Max is no longer with us." A fan asked if she killed her dog, and she said yes. Peach's posts and videos about Max triggered a lot of viewers. Why did you torture this poor animal who wants to only love you? It was one thing to do weird stuff for social media attention, but to hurt an innocent dog, that was unforgivable. Now people could see how damaged she was, kicking and choking a 6-month-old puppy for fun, even threatening to throw it out of the window. Peaches was acting out her wicked fantasies, like kicking and beating her pet, the same way she talked about punishing her daughter. She had to be stopped before she actually harmed the dog. Her followers sent the disturbing footage to the police. The DeKalb County Police Department's phones rang non-stop until they sent officers to investigate the situation. When the cops knocked on her door, the dog was hiding in fear in a corner. The dog was so terrified of her. Who knows how much torture she had put him through.
That's not something that should be joking about.
At all. He's all scared.
He's scared to death.
The police asked about the dog's well-being, and she insisted that he was doing fine. She pointed out that he had food and water and he was fine.
As you can see, he's fine. Food right there. What?
So you making threats to harm your dog for followers?
Okay. Yes, but I didn't do it like that.
How long you had this dog?
A few weeks.
But the cops called her out on her lies.
You were following somebody, they made an allegation that you would harm something for someone.
Yeah, but I make jokes all the time, so I know they make jokes.
That's not funny. You talking about harming a puppy?
I don't even have a window to throw him out of.
Well, you do have a window, you have a door and a balcony. But you have a door and a balcony.
They pressed further, and she revealed that she sprayed perfume in her puppy's face for social media following and attention.
Whose dog is it?
Mine.
Why would you make that
For followers. Rory?
For followers?
Oh, Patty.
She even tried to play the pity card, saying she did all those crazy things because she wanted to give her daughter and father a better place, the same child she lost access to.
I mean, is there a reason you do what you do?
Well, label will find me and I can live good.
So someone will sign you and you can live good? Okay. Alright. I mean, like I said,
that makes sense. You know, I want a good life for me, my dad, and my daughter. I don't see that's being bad.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, but some of the antics you pulled on Instagram, it's not normal.
Apparently, clout chasing was good business for Peaches. She made $1,000 a week and got sponsorships for behaving badly.
You have 1.1 million followers. How much money do you get from Instagram?
I have sponsorships and stuff for maybe like $1,000 a week.
$1,000 a week? Alright. And that's your account.
Fortunately, the puppy wasn't allowed to spend another night under her roof. Max was checked by a vet and he seemed okay but shaken up due to the trauma he experienced living with Brittany. But that wasn't all. She was arrested and officially charged with 1 count of cruelty to animals by DeKalb County Police. Her puppy was taken from her and she is not allowed to have any pets in her home, which is quite a relief. Nothing is safe from her antics, not babies and certainly not puppies. And for the first time, she faced real consequences. She was detained for 2 weeks and her bail was $2,500. Obviously, she wasn't sorry about what she had done, because while she was in jail, she made a video for her fans.
Hi guys, it's Lovely Peaches. First I want to say hi to my fans, because they all that matter. So hi Twins, I love you so much. I'll let you know if I've been on hiatus from social media. I want to tell my fans I love you so much.
And when she got out of jail, she went back to creating her gross content. She was starving badly for attention, as she had been locked up for 2 weeks. Sure, she would do anything to make people talk about her, going as far as making people believe that she was a dirty troll.
The place is surrounded by police officers. So, I'm sorry y'all, my itching. anyways,
Most women wouldn't bring something as private as having an STD to social media, but it's a different case with Peaches. She would describe her STD symptoms using words like fishy and burning.
my be burning and itching, burning and itching. Itching and burning, itching and burning. It be burning and itching, burning and itching. Itching and burning, itching and burning. It be stanky and fishy, stanky and fishy. Fishy and stanky, fishy and stanky.
In this video, she confessed about how her privates burn when she urinates.
Guys, my vagina hurts and I just don't feel good in general. I can barely move. Every time I move, it hurts really, really bad. And my vagina just starts burning. And when I go to the bathroom, it's like hell. Like I can barely even pee without being in pain.
She also said there are bugs in her privates.
Ladies, you know how we got those little white bugs that are pubic hair? I literally, I went to the bathroom this morning and there was a bunch of tiny little white bugs. It's like they had multiplied. So I got a razor and I started shaving down there and all the hair was starting to come off because, I had a little bush grow down there. And all the white bugs was coming off into the hair and they were squirming around and it was really disgusting. Being a woman is just hard and...
Surprisingly, in real life, Peaches takes her bath and brushes her teeth, but on the internet she's known as a literal troll who doesn't shower or keep good hygiene. According to her, taking a shower is a trend, and people only do it to fit in.
Think to yourself. You have to think to yourself, why do I shower? Why do I bath? Why do I do it? What am I getting out of doing this? Am I going to starve if I don't take a bath? Am I going to die if I don't take a bath? It's not a necessity like food and water. Basically, you're just wasting your own water bill. For no reason, because you want to fit in.
She had created the persona of a troll and she had to stay in character, so she drank her urine and water from the toilet bowl. Brittany's content was a ticking time bomb because it had become a health hazard. She would even brag about eating feces to her fans, but she didn't want people to judge her for that. After all, there are people who eat seafood such as crabs and octopus.
I find it hilarious that that's the first thing people say when we argue, and I just be like, okay, I'm not judging you for your favorite food. You judge me for my favorite food because I love poop and I'll eat it right in front of them. I was like, you can talk your shit while I eat shit.
A curious fan asked if she had eaten someone else's, and she shamelessly admitted to eating dog poop.
I like this question. Have you ever eaten someone else's poop? I have eaten dog poop. I have let men fart in my mouth.
That wasn't the lowest she could go. Shockingly, Peaches took her nastiness to a whole new level when she defecated in public. Malls are where normal people hang out and have fun, but for her, it was the best place to take a dump. She would often go on live streams to rant about how badly she smelled. In many of these videos, she would speak about what she called women problem, implying that every woman smells.
Women got vaginas, and vaginas stink. They got toxic waste come out of them. They got little white bugs inside of our underwear. It's just something that we go through as women.
She claimed poop is her favorite food and advised her fans to have some if they have no food to eat. Moving on.
If you can't go nowhere to get food, you can easily go to the toilet and make your own food. Period. And you want to know how you can get some really good shit? If you eat beans before you go to bed.
This next subject we are able to go into will leave you utterly traumatized. Brittany has a weird fetish for STDs, and she believes in letting it go around.
Y'all, I was having sex this morning. And after we was done, some of the white bugs that be crawling down on me was on him, and some of them was in the bed, and he was like, what the f***? He was like, what's going on? I said, I don't know.
As sad and unbelievable as it sounds, she is an unapologetic bug chaser. Bug chasers are people who have an insane desire to be infected with sexually transmitted diseases. Experts say this is very much a thing and not something that's made up. There are also gift givers. People who are living with STDs are obsessed with infecting other people as a way of bonding with them. Sadly, Peaches is one of those gift givers who takes pride in distributing sexually transmitted diseases. For example, in most of her videos, Brittany would fantasize about STDs.
This is the face of when you find out that you have 4 STDs and I have a parasite.
She dreamed of throwing an HIV party and making a cake to celebrate.
But if I have AIDS, I'm going to throw a HIV party. It's going to be one of the biggest parties I ever throw. I'm going to give myself an AIDS cake. I might give myself an STD cake, but To be honest, like, I'm trying not to eat too much sugar because I get really lightheaded. But I'm just like super excited.
She knew exactly what she wanted because she was very specific about which STD she wanted. Chlamydia, herpes, and HIV are top on her bucket list.
I literally got 4 STDs, one being chlamydia. Chlamydia is one of the best STDs you could ever get.
She was a walking disaster, a danger to herself and the men who books her. STD lead to serious health complications, being on medications for a long term and even death. Then she shared a video where she said that she had received the best news of her life. Guess what that is? If you guessed that she had finally gotten STD, you are right. Not only had she gotten an STD, she had 4 different types.
I won't be on here long, but I'm going to talk about one of the best experiences I've ever experienced in my whole life. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, I went to the clinic and got tested for STDs. So far, I have 4 STDs.
In this video, she called one of her clients to share the news with him, but it's clearly not the reaction she's expecting.
Are you crying just because we have AIDS?
Who's we? Please, you playing my bitch, please.
Stop crying, you fool. It ain't that serious.
AIDS is serious.
It seemed as if she was messing with him. Well, his wife doesn't have to wait for karma to deal with him because Brittany ensures that her clients have no peace of mind.
Bro, I only have herpes and AIDS.
That shit kills people.
Oh.
What you mean, oh?
Well, rest in peace. Bye.
She went to a restaurant to celebrate her 4 STDs, but she couldn't keep the news to herself and she got kicked out of the restaurant.
I officially just found out that I have chlamydia. I have 4 STDs. I have a parasite in my
Hey. Guys, this is a family restaurant. Come on.
It's bad enough that she wanted to deliberately get herself infected with incurable diseases. She also wanted to pass the disease to her clients so they could go home and spread it to their wives.
When I give them STDs, they go home and they give it to their wives. So I get to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. Why are you not laughing?
Because it's not funny.
Apart from the fact that she was getting money and food from her male clients, she was also in the trade to be a gift giver. According to her, she had given a lot of STDs to the men she slept with. Now she hoped to get AIDS as well.
Unfortunately, I've given a lot of STDs out, but I haven't given actual AIDS out because I want AIDS like so bad, and I try my best to catch them, but every time I think I have it, I never get any symptoms. I haven't lost any weight or whatever, and I haven't been blessed with it yet.
A lot of people condemned her for this, but the men who were intimate with her were aware of the risks they were taking, because she has always talked about her kink for STDs.
If I catch AIDS, y'all could see me run that day. I'm gonna be so happy, and I actually didn't take an AIDS test yet.
The truth is, she endured a lot of trauma as a teenager. She had even overdosed on drugs and had to be rushed to the hospital.
I'm going through a lot of my personal life, so I had tried to overdose. I was took to the hospital where they did something like flush my stomach or something. So I was in the hospital for like 24 hours, and then they took me to this facility, like a parent facility, and I stayed there for a while.
She was a victim of circumstance. According to her, she was also a victim of sex trafficking. During her late teens, Peaches became a victim of sex trafficking after losing her mom to suicide. She had cut off all ties with her dad and sister, and even denied having a sibling. Having no parental guidance led to her losing her virginity at the age of 13 to a 35-year-old man.
My first love, I was 13 years old, he was 35. I actually lost my virginity to him.
And the men who booked her took advantage of the fact that she had no one to protect her. By the time she was 14, she had slept with over 100 men.
Honestly, I've had sex with over 100 men when I was like 14, I had reached 100. So who knows how many men I've had sex with in my life.
At 13, she was dating men in their 50s. Why is she dating older men, you may wonder? They are easier for her to handle, and they have a lot to lose, so they are willing to do whatever she tells them. They even help her promote sponsored content such as this to make her happy, risking exposing their identity and affair. It must be worth the trouble they would get into with their wives. Getting into trouble with their wife might not even be scary compared to what she does to them. Peaches makes her clients wish they never met her. That's because she tortures her clients physically and mentally. Take this client for example. He took her to a motel, and when it was time for them to leave, she refused to go. She filmed him while he kept trying to hide his face from the camera. But to her, she's clearly having so much fun, teasing him and giggling uncontrollably.
Are you turn the lights off?
Because I'm ready to go.
Good night.
No.
Nope.
Now she's throwing things at him. Every time she hung out with a client, she abused them and yelled at them, leaving them traumatized.
Why are you being this way? Why are you being this way? Why are you so stubborn? All I'm asking for you to sleep here. It's not like I said, get out. All I said was, can you please be quiet when we have sex? That's all I asked.
Take a look at what she did to this one, biting his finger until he screamed out in pain, but she kept laughing. She enjoyed torturing them for her and her fans' amusement.
Okay. Shit, it hurts. Okay, let go. It's bleeding. The pain. It's a bad wound. Stop. Okay, stop for real. Okay, I apologize. Stop. That shit hurts.
She told one client that she exposed their affair to his wife and he started to melt down, but she was just messing with him.
Just fucked you, and I just spoke with your wife as well.
Oh, man. No. Oh, man. Come on.
She also filmed herself making out with them. The raunchy bedroom videos she made of her clients always ended up on her social media accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers. But she knew messing with her clients in this way would make them upset, so she ensured that they knew she had 7 boyfriends, although it was only a trick to make the men compete for her attention. She made them believe she was in high demand, especially when she announced her relationship with TikToker Diego Martir. In 2020, social media star Diego Martir shared a cute video of him and Peaches holding hands and hugging. He captioned the video, "Officially dating." This announcement was received with mixed feelings. Some of his fans were happy for them, while others were irritated. "You could have done way better. I expected more than that, Diego." Another said cutest couple. But it turned out that this wasn't a real relationship. It was a pretend relationship, and when she continued to be involved in social media dramas, Martir distanced himself from her.
I just want to say that, like, basically I just do not support it, and I will not be, what's the word, associating myself with Peaches anymore.
There was one time she was in a relationship with a Chinese guy, but it didn't last either. Because the thing with Peaches is that everything is extreme. Back when she still liked rapper Lil Mosey, she asked her fans to give her his home address.
His address, his car, anything you know about Lil Mosey, send it to me because I'm trying to track him down and have a nice time. So I decided that I really want to meet Lil Mosey. So basically, go on the internet, do what you have to do. When I go to his house, I will be going live. So send him pictures of his home, his car, if you have his serial number to his license plate.
However, her attention switched from the rapper to a teenage singer, Malu Trevejo. She was so crazy about Malu that she broke into her home to sniff her clothes. Let's rewind a little. Before she broke into Malu's house, Peaches had already crossed the line. She flashed her privates on a live stream that Malu was on with her friends, Kayla Nicole and Skay Jackson. The girls didn't see that move coming and they were terrified.
Hi, Kayla!
Hey, how you doing?
Malu is a singer and social media personality who became one of Peaches' favorite people on the internet. She traveled to Miami for a show, but ended up going to Malu's neighborhood. She hid in the bushes when she saw the security patrolling and pretended that she was a resident of that place.
Living here.
What is it?
Pero eso estaba así.
Oh.
Y la cámara está grabando.
No español.
Thank
Oh,
you.
this
The
aisle.
party's closed 9 o'clock.
Oh, this is closed right now?
Okay. Los equipos.
Then when the coast was clear, she jumped over Malu's gate and entered her home. She was just there to go through her personal stuff and even took a shirt as a souvenir.
Y'all, I got one of Malu's shirts. Oh my God. Malu's shirt. It smells so good.
She also thought it was a good idea to go live to let everyone on the internet know she was in the teenager's home. But she accidentally leaked Malu's home address, exposing her to more danger. Peaches thought Malu would be impressed, but the singer freaked out.
I have no family. So that's how you know do shit like that to me. Because it's easy to do it to me. I'm telling y'all because I can't no more. I can't.
She didn't understand why she couldn't go to someone's home uninvited. She was upset and acted as if she was the victim.
As y'all know, I'm a huge fan of Malu Trevejo. So today I went to surprise her at her home.
And she was just mad rude to me for no reason at all. She literally went on Instagram making fun of me.
Since she was still in Miami, she decided to visit another singer whom she liked, Bod Baby. It was either she didn't know this was bad, or just didn't care.
Bad Baby here? Does she live here? I'm a fan. She lives in California. Do you know her?
The rapper's mother threatened to get her arrested, and that scared her away.
The police have already been notified. She will be arrested once she's caught. I don't know why the other house she went to had her on camera and didn't notify their security. I can't answer that. But she will be held accountable for what she did.
Malu's fans were also upset with her and wanted her arrested. Mad rude to her for no reason. You just broke into her house? That's still breaking and entering. But the singer didn't press charges against her. Here's the twist. Peaches is not as forgiving as Malu. She couldn't take half of what she dished out to people on a daily basis. She sued a guy over a crawfish order. Peaches appeared in Judge Mathis's courtroom as a plaintiff in a case called the Crawfish Conundrum.
Brittany claims she met the defendant in a chat room and ordered crawfish from him. But he failed to provide the crawfish and refuses to refund her money, so she's suing.
Crawfish is her comfort food, and she has eaten it in several of her videos. She loved crawfish so much that she had trouble with anyone who stood in her way of eating it, and the guy who dared to mess with her, she took him to court. She met this guy, Wade Willie, in a chat room. She told him she wanted some crawfish, but was unable to get any due to COVID-19 lockdown.
Crawfish has always been like a big comfort for me. It's like my favorite food. Like, I'm addicted to crawfish. And basically, I was in this group chat with the defendant, and I told him about how I haven't been able to find crawfish during the COVID days because there was such a shortage of it. And he told me that he owns a seafood place and that he would send me crawfish.
Wade offered to purchase some crawfish for her as he had just inherited a seafood business. Brittany paid him $2,000 of her hard-earned money, and over a year later she got nothing from him, and he wouldn't refund her money because he had a no-refund policy.
I was told by my suppliers that I could be able to deliver the crawfish, but my policy is I do not do refunds, I can do exchanges. But I was unfortunately not able to do crawfish, but like she said, I was able to do others.
When she began to disturb him over the money, he offered to send her some crabs or octopus, but she hates octopus and crabs and thinks that people who eat them are weird.
He offered me crab and octopus. I don't even know how people eat that.
But her opinion about people who eat octopus didn't stop the judge from siding with her. In fact, Judge Mathis ruled in her favor. For once, we get a glimpse of a different side to her. Here she's calm, well-behaved, and seems normal. This is certainly not the Brittany we all know on the internet. Judge Mathis promised to check out her videos if only he knows what's headed his way.
Come to me, I'll stop all that, as we have. Judgment for the plaintiff. Good luck to you. I'm going to look at that site. Just have a good day.
He would surely be surprised that this same woman has harassed people for years and got away with it. Unfortunately, she was popular on social media, yet most people don't know who she is offline. But it's even more surprising that Peaches started out as a singer. However, her hunger for attention ruined her music career.
The number you dialed is not in service. Sorry.
That's me low-key. She's a jokey. Always hating on me cause you know that I'm the best.
She wanted to remain in the spotlight, so she started harassing people in public. She would also do wild stuff, like rolling on the floor, talking to herself on live, and whatever crazy idea popped into her head. Now back to her harassing people to get to them to react. She targeted malls and restaurants where just trying to have a good time. She would go to restaurants where families were eating, and she would dance almost naked in front of them and their young kids.
Look at that. Ma'am, you're gonna have to leave, please.
She also had the habit of screaming out things that made no sense and screaming at people at the mall. She was once again kicked out of a restaurant for screaming, but she just went on with her video. When Brittany wanted to make a video, no one could stop her.
You need to stand Nicki Minaj. She's the queen of rap.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Period! Period!
Her content kept getting worse, creepy, and even embarrassing. On top of that, she began to eat dirty stuff just to get more attention. That was when people started to dig into her past to know if she was mentally well. As it turned out, she had been dealing with mental health issues and had gone through some trauma. But instead of getting help from a professional, she used her personal issues to gain more attention.
But at the end of the day, I'm never going to apologize for being mentally ill. I'll never apologize for that because that's something that people can't help. So I would never ever apologize for that because that's basically telling everybody on this live that deal with mental illness, you got to apologize. You got to apologize for being who you are. I'm not going to spread that message. That's something I would never do. That's something you'll never see me do, ever.
And her followers exploded because her audience were teenagers who were easily amused by her shocking content, like making pranks calls. She would continuously make fake calls to 911 and businesses.
Where's your emergency?
Yeah, this is SpongeBob SquarePants. I can't find my way back to Bikini Bottom.
Sometimes, it was the audience who pushed her to do crazy stuff, and she fell for it every time. Peaches then crossed a line she should never have crossed. She broke into a daycare and terrified the children to death. Specifically speaking, she went into a daycare, pulled up her dress, and danced in front of the kids. The children were too young to understand what was going on, and they were so scared that they began to scream and cry. Even with the children scared out of their minds, Peaches didn't stop dancing, and no one tried to stop her, not even the teachers. The teachers who were supposed to protect the children found her antics funny and just kept laughing. Only a selfish person would do something like that, but then she has never cared about anyone. Fortunately, that incident never happened again. Her favorite way to pass the time was answering fan questions on social media, but her responses were always ridiculous and far from the truth, which makes you wonder if she's really dumb or just putting on a show for her viewers.
Do you wash your ass? How does it feel? How does it feel like to be Ariana Grande? He he he. No, I don't wash it. I don't feel like there's a really need for it because it stinks anyways. But
a fan asked her about her opinion on cannibalism, and this is what she said.
Opinions on canned food. I don't have a pantry, so I don't get it. But sometimes I do get ramen noodles. I like ramen noodles. I can fuck with that.
She thinks Barack Obama is the same person as Osama bin Laden.
I don't know. I ain't gonna say too much. I don't try not to talk. I try to stay out of the whole Donald Trump thing. But I'm just be honest. I feel like life was a lot better when Barack Obama was in office, and I feel like we had more freedom, and life was just way better. And I know that if it wasn't better, that he wouldn't have got nominated 2 times.
And she said Jamaican reggae icon Bob Marley is a rapper.
I'm telling y'all, I don't listen to all these rappers y'all be listening to. All these male rappers. I'm totally into female rap. I like to listen to Nicki. I like to listen to Cardi. I like to listen to all female artists.
In the early days of her career, she became obsessed with rapper Nicki Minaj, and she would spend over $20 on each of the Nicki perfumes in her collections. But spending her money on Nicki's perfumes wasn't enough to show how much she loved her. She would also have moments like this where she would cry so hard over her photo. It was like she was consumed by a terrible fever. This illness wasn't caused by bacteria, she became sick with affection. This led to her having public emotional meltdowns and outbursts. It started back in 2017 when she became totally obsessed with the rapper. But what started as a fan showing love to their favorite celebrity turned into several manic episodes. She would scream out her love for the rapper everywhere she went. She would talk about it while in bed with a client. She kept ranting about Nicki Minaj being the queen of rap.
Nicki Minaj is the queen of rap! Nicki Minaj is the queen of rap!
She was even ready to get physical with anyone who doesn't love Nicki. Britney was fast tumbling down a rabbit hole. In 2020, her attention-seeking behavior made her lose it all. Her TikTok account with 1 million+ followers was taken down. Apart from that, several petitions were also signed to get her kicked off the internet for good, and it was because she threatened to harm a minor American singer and dancer, Charli D'Amelio. Charli is a dancer who became famous on TikTok at the age of 16. In 2019, her dance videos blew up, giving her over 70 million followers. Unlike Peaches, Charli D'Amelio's videos were innocent and fun, the kind of content parents felt safe letting their kids enjoy. Now she has over 150 million followers on TikTok. Her large number of followers within a few years is proof of how much people love Charli. However, she was secretly battling depression.
When I hit 100 million, I think I was at the lowest mental state possible, and I looked so happy online, and it got to the point where I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I physically cannot do this. Like, it got really dark to where I was like, I don't even want to be here anymore.
Despite her personal struggles, Charli D'Amelio was in the spotlight and drawing a lot of attention, and Peaches wanted her fans to notice her. Being in the limelight was her thing, so she joined Charli's Instagram livestream. Obviously, her mission was to get noticed because she started to make inappropriate comments. She started talking about adult toys, and her comments became really explicit and weird. Charli didn't say anything about her comments, and this only made her more desperate. Then she crudely said that she wanted Charli and Stranger Things actor Noah Schnapp to make out. He was also on the livestream, and that must have made him uncomfortable. Charli was also uneasy, even though she tried so hard not to be distracted by Peaches. She had to hastily end the session because Peaches wouldn't stop making those crass comments. Peaches couldn't deal with Charli's silence. It was like a slap on her face because she lives for attention. She became so mad that she completely lost her mind. She was even more upset that Charli didn't defend her. According to her, Charli's fans were bullies and they had been bullying her and other influencers, but Charli did nothing to stop them.
Because he cheated on that bully. Like, she sent a huge hate train out on me. Like, if she tells a group of people to hate on somebody, they're gonna hate on them because of who she is and because she's white. So shout out to Lil Huddy for cheating on her because he did the right thing. Shout out to Lil Huddy. We love you, Lil Huddy. You did the right thing because she's a bully.
She started releasing videos back to back, asking her fans to tell her where Charli lived. Then she made a video of her talking to a man on the phone about Charli. She said she had hired a 30-year-old man to tape Charli, and the way she kept talking about it was scary.
Perfect 30-year-old man, black man that's gonna rip the fuck out of Charli. Hello?
Right on.
Did you get the pictures of the girl's body?
Hell yeah, I love it.
He go the shit out of Charli. If y'all know where Charli is located, leave her location in the comments below because I paid this grown-ass man to rip Charli's.
Now everyone was concerned because her behavior was extremely alarming. Her boldness in claiming that she paid someone to assault a teenager was a wake-up call for all. Peaches was unhinged, and everyone who had supported her had helped to create the danger she had become. She was a sick person who needed help, but the world made her famous. If she could go after someone as big as Charli D'Amelio, she could turn on anyone. Now they all wanted her platforms to be taken from her. Some people wanted her to face legal actions, but most of the petitions made against her couldn't get her canceled. Charli and her family never confronted her because she would only drag them into the mud with her. However, TikTok took action against her, and that was the start of her downfall. Her account with almost 1 million followers was banned. They also ensured that she would never be able to return to the platform. Her fan accounts were also reported. She also lost her Instagram account and had to grow a new account all over. People began to watch her like a hawk. They reported every post that went against the guidelines, and her fake accounts were all exposed. Finally, she decided to tell the world the truth, which is what some of her fans have known all along. She didn't fail Cora. She lost custody of her a long time ago. Shortly after Cora was born, Peaches revealed that everything she did was for the sake of her music career. Her entire content was a strategy to grow a strong fan base, so she could launch a successful music career. But that worked against her. Now her fans hate her, and her name brings up memories of her past scandals. She's also confessed that everything she said about her daughter was a lie. It was all a rage bait.
Most of you already know anyways if you're watching this video. Anyways, I said certain things, and first of all, I want to clear it up that I've never done any of the things that I said I did, the bad things. I've never done any of the bad things I said I did. I was basically just like, trolling. And
unfortunately, Peaches with a traumatic background had a chance at fame, but she messed it up. Her music career is now overshadowed by the shameless things she did. These days, she posts her music and dance videos on her YouTube channel. The good part of this new Peaches is that her content is tame and no longer an eyesore. Perhaps the most exciting thing that is happening to her now are the recurring death reports about her. On 3 different occasions, it was announced that Peaches passed away. On January 25th, 2024, the reports about her death started circulating on TikTok, making it the 3rd time.
I've been seeing this
all this through my For You page. Like, I know who she is, but I forgot who she was. Like, I honestly forgot that she would exist.
However, she is alive and thriving. She's not the one spreading the lies about her death. It seemed her fans were messing with her, giving her a taste of her own medicine. Lovely Peaches fooled so many people for years, and people are now taking their pound of flesh by circulating fake stories about her death. Today, no one pays her any attention, and it's just sad how she ruined her career. She's trying so hard to gain relevancy once again, but not as the troll we all know. But the internet never forgets. That's a jarring fact that has worked against her. Who could ever forget the psychological trauma Peaches put a lot of people through with her lies?
Because I haven't got paid yet, dumbass. You ever thought about that? TikTok don't pay out the moment the shit sends. I want some food right now. So be quiet then, Elijah. You giving me a hard time today. And you doing this while I'm on camera. Be quiet. Don't nobody tell me how to raise my motherfucking kid.
Mommy! Get off of me! That's right, get off my... Kiss me!
Don't tell her that. She kiss you on the cheek like a sister.
Some creators rise fast, only to fall even faster. But few drops have been as sharp as Lashy Hinton's. Once known as the modest Apple Store girl, a relatable face dancing her way into TikTok feeds, her story has taken a series of shocking twists that left fans and critics scrambling to make sense of it. From seemingly innocent beginnings, including makeup videos and skits, to a persona tied to financial requests, accusations of neglect, and public scrutiny, Hinton's path is anything but straightforward. How did someone who seems so grounded end up at the center of repeated controversies? And is it fair to judge her by the rumors swirling online, or is there more behind the headlines? When people talk about Lashy Hinton today, the conversation almost always circles back to one thing: accusations of scamming and bad parenting. It's a theme that has followed her for years, showing up in Reddit threads, Lipstick Alley discussions, and countless comment sections. Whether fair or unfair, her name has become tied to questions about money, children, and trust. And once that label starts following someone online, it's nearly impossible to shake. Now, the claims about the scamming are varied, but they all connect to the same point: that Hinton has asked for help from her audience without always being honest about how that help was used.
I wish I had my own money or I could pay that shit off. Oh, this shit is pissing me off, stressing me out. My whole life right now is really stressing me out.
Some people describe it as straightforward begging, constantly requesting money, gifts, or support without showing much accountability afterward. Others go further, suggesting a more deliberate pattern of deception, where emotional appeals were crafted to bring in donations under circumstances that weren't fully true. One commented, "Oh, it must be so nice to rely and live off the government. As I'm a single mom of 2 with a full-time job, barely making it by because I make too much." Another said, "What's closure? You can pay for closure? Shit, wish I had known that my whole life." One of the earliest and most discussed accusations is the claim that she scammed the unemployment system. On Reddit, users have alleged that she collected benefits improperly and ended up owing more than $7,000 back. That number, 7,000, has been cited repeatedly, passed around as evidence that her financial troubles weren't just the result of bad luck, but questionable decisions. To some, it suggested that if she was willing to manipulate or misuse government aid, she might be willing to do the same with strangers online. That claim became a kind of anchor for her critics. Even people who didn't follow her closely began to reference it, using the unemployment case as shorthand for the bigger problems they saw in her behavior.
Hey, y'all want to help me get some smoke today?
Of course, it's worth pointing out that most of these discussions are based on online posts and secondhand reports rather than official records. Still, the allegation has stuck, and for many people, it remains the strongest example of the scammer image attached to her.
Trying to dye my bundles a different color. Matter of fact, no, 150. 150 because I need a new closure. 150 because I need a new closure.
But the unemployment story is just one piece of the puzzle. Beyond government aid, there are ongoing complaints about the way Hinton has handled donations from her audience. Like many online figures, she maintained wish lists, often on Amazon, where supporters could buy items directly for her. Moreover, according to Lipstick Alley discussions, Hinton sometimes swapped out basic items for more expensive or unnecessary ones once donations started coming in. For critics, it was a sign that the initial appeals weren't entirely genuine, and that the urgent needs were more about creating a sense of obligation in supporters than actual survival. This is where her reputation began to shift. People stopped seeing her as a struggling woman and asking for help, and started calling her a panhandler. The term came up again and again in online conversations, tied to the way she consistently framed herself as a victim. Critics pointed out that she never seemed to pursue real work, that her energy went into asking for support rather than building stability.
I'm starting not to like TikTok no more. I promise you I'm not. I see why other content creators be dipping off on y'all because y'all some motherfuckers need some help. Like, swear to God. I see why all them other content creators don't with y'all.
And when she pushed back, saying she wasn't physically fit to hold down a job, it only deepened the divide. Some accepted that explanation, but others thought it didn't make sense, especially given the effort she put into maintaining an online presence. The dynamic was strange. On one hand, Hinton insisted she was being unfairly targeted, that people online talking about her didn't really know her life. On the other hand, her critics felt that she was actively shaping her narrative in a way that invited money without accountability. When someone constantly plays the role of a victim, the audience starts to question whether the hardship is real or exaggerated. And in Hinton's case, that question became the centerpiece of nearly every discussion about her.
I usually smoke every 420, but I want some food right now. And I'm trying not to drink too. So, I'm trying not to drink tonight. I'm trying to slow down on the drink.
What makes Hinton's situation stand out is how central money has always been to her presence. Many creators eventually monetize their platforms, but Hinton's appeal for support wasn't tied to extra content, entertainment, or a project. It was tied to her as a person, her day-to-day survival. That blurred line made every accusation hit harder. If her story was inflated or if her behavior was deceptive, then the very basis of her online identity came into question. However, before the panhandler and broke comments started coming in discussions, Lachey was already facing backlash due to bad parenting. What's more, it wasn't a single moment that earned her that label. Instead, it was a pattern of behavior pieced together by people who claimed to follow her closely. Small details, stories, and videos that painted a picture of neglect and dysfunction inside her own home.
Who give a fuck about me being a deadbeat? How many of y'all give a fuck about me being a deadbeat? How many of y'all give a fuck about me being a deadbeat? The worst deadbeat in this earth. How many of y'all?
One of the most common accusations revolved around how she handled food with her children. A Change.org petition even surfaced alleging that Hinton restricted food from her kids, with critics arguing that meals weren't being provided consistently or appropriately. For those following the story, this became a serious point of concern because food insecurity is one of the clearest markers of neglect. When combined with the financial support she was receiving from viewers, it raised the uncomfortable question of why donations weren't directly translating into better care for her children. Schooling was another flashpoint. Reddit threads accused Hinton of failing to properly register her children for school and allowing them to miss multiple days because she was incapacitated by alcohol.
It's cool. I just didn't let go because I didn't feel like doing all that. I had to get it. It's too cute. I had to get it.
For critics, this was more than just disorganization. It suggested a lack of stability at home, one that her children were paying the price for. Education is often the most visible measure of parental responsibility, and missing school days, especially for reasons tied to her drinking, quickly fueled claims that she wasn't providing the structure her kids needed. Why do people have kids if they can't be bothered to take care of them? I seriously don't get it. Beyond education and meals, there were broader concerns about basic care. Hygiene, living conditions, and clothing were all brought up in online discussions, with posters saying her children often appeared without suitable outfits for their age. These observations might have seemed minor on their own, but when added to the larger narrative, they fed into the picture of neglect. To critics, it looked like she was failing to meet the most fundamental responsibilities of parenting.
On the porch. I'm not feeding into them. All I know is ain't nobody else shit.
The accusations didn't stop at neglect. They also extended into verbal abuse. Multiple posts on Reddit described Hinton yelling at her children on live streams, with one particularly disturbing claim that she called her oldest son ugly and even spat on him during an outburst. For viewers, those kinds of moments stood out because they happened in real time in front of an audience. Unlike other allegations that came secondhand, these clips gave people something more concrete to point to.
Elijah, what's wrong? Tell me you gotta do all of that? Tell me you gotta do all that? All that is not called for. Ain't nobody yelling at him. I can yell at your ass. How about that?
It wasn't just speculation. It was behavior caught on camera that people felt confirmed the stories of instability at home.
So be quiet then, Elijah. You giving me a hard time today. And you do this while I'm on camera. Be quiet. Oh my God, man. I am trying to chill. He doing too much, man.
There were also claims that she manipulated her children in front of the camera. Some users said Hinton coached her kids into saying certain things during live videos, shaping the narrative in ways that benefited her image. This was a particularly sensitive accusation, because it suggested she wasn't just neglecting them behind the scenes, but also involving them in her online controversies. To critics, this crossed a line. Children being used to defend or prop up an adult story online raised questions about their well-being and whether their voices were being twisted to fit her needs.
Then Elijah, we just had a talk, right? So what's the problem? What's the problem? What am I missing? What am I missing, Elijah? Elijah, but you're not being quiet though. You're not listening. You're not following my directions.
Faced with these accusations, Hinton didn't stay silent. She pushed back, saying the claims weren't true and that outsiders were twisting her life into something it wasn't. At times, she admitted she was far from perfect, but she also argued that no one had ever taught her how to parent. That statement, "Nobody showed me how to be a parent," became one of her most repeated defenses.
Let me say this one more time. Don't nobody tell me how to raise my motherfucking kids. They came out of my not yours. This is my household, not yours. You got a problem with the way I talk to my kids and raise my kids? Shut the up and go get some psychiatric help.
For supporters, it was a humanizing explanation, a way of acknowledging her struggles without accepting the harsher labels being thrown at her. For critics, it wasn't nearly enough. They felt that regardless of her background, the choices she was making were harming her children in the present.
Y'all believe anything. Y'all believe anything a hater tell y'all. Just because it's negative, you'll believe it. That's your problem now. Just because it's negative, no, it's not true. Y'all need to know the difference. Y'all need to figure out the difference. Y'all need to figure out the truth and come back and shut up. Just because a hating ass tell y'all something, just because a hating asshole tell y'all something, that does not mean it's true.
What made these claims hit harder was that they weren't confined to one platform. Change.org petitions, Reddit discussions, and YouTube comments all carried variations of the same criticisms. The consistency gave the accusations a kind of weight, even if not every detail could be verified. In an online environment where perception spreads quickly, repetition often matters more than absolute proof. Those poor babies. Don't nobody telling me how to raise my kids now. CPS is telling you Silverback. She deserves so much bad karma for how she treated those babies. It's unreal. For Hinton, these discussions marked an early turning point in how she was viewed. Before people focused on her panhandling or her unemployment debt, many had already decided that she wasn't living up to her role as a parent. And once that judgment set in, everything else she did, whether asking for money, explaining her circumstances, or pushing back against critics, was filtered through that lens. And that left her with little room to defend herself. Saying she was struggling or that outsiders didn't understand only went so far when people believed they were seeing neglect unfold in real time. Once the image of a neglectful parent takes hold, it's almost impossible to undo. Things escalated quickly after months of criticism over Lachey Hinton's behavior towards her children, but the situation took an even darker turn in 2022. The controversy reached a climax when allegations of sexual misconduct surfaced, this time involving her own family.
Shoes. She's close.
Ow! I got to say a lot of that's right. No, I didn't.
Can y'all stop playing and lying on each other? That's all y'all doing, going back and forth and lying on each other. That's all y'all doing. If ain't one line, it's another one line.
In December 2022, during one of Hinton's live streams, viewers claimed to have witnessed a disturbing incident. According to social media posts, Hinton's biological niece was allegedly assaulted while on camera. What shocked audiences even more was the perception that Lachey either ignored what was happening or failed to intervene in any meaningful way.
See y'all later. I just came to put my wig on.
Kiss me.
Don't tell her that. She can kiss you on the cheek like a sister. They on each other's way.
The reaction was immediate and intense. Clips circulated rapidly, with critics accusing her of negligence and even complicity. A Change.org petition was soon launched, demanding accountability and urging platforms to take action against her. The petition gathered hundreds of signatures in a short span, showing how deeply the event resonated with those who had either followed her or stumbled upon the viral footage. For many, this wasn't just another instance of online drama. It felt like a line had been crossed. Unlike previous controversies about donations or content choices, this involved a child and allegations of abuse. Even people who had previously defended Lachey found it difficult to dismiss the seriousness of what was being claimed. Brushing the same spot on her head for 15 years. She cared about perfecting that baby hair more than she cares for the actual babies. Lord, I hope baby girl never has to be in that situation again. She was so helpless. Hinton later acknowledged that troubling events had occurred while she was present, admitting she felt powerless to intervene at the time. She explained that the situation was overwhelming, leaving her unsure how to react and unable to act.
Yes, something happened. Me and my sister don't know what happened, who did it. The fact that y'all are labeling kids and labeling anybody, period, like y'all know what's going on behind the scenes is crazy. Like, there wasn't a camera there. Now y'all saying I did it because, like I said, this is why I don't speak on it.
While she recognized mistakes were made, she emphasized that there was no intent to harm and that she was now trying to process the situation and make better choices. Her admission highlighted the difficulty of balancing personal struggle with responsibility, especially under the scrutiny of an online audience.
Like, I didn't react to certain stuff fast enough. Like, I'm already dealing with it enough right here. Like, what do y'all want me to do myself? Because I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna do that. That's one thing I'm not finna do. So it's like...
What made matters worse was the permanence of the internet. Even after she tried to move forward, the clips, petitions, and forum discussions remained searchable. Every new video she posted would attract comments, dragging the past back up. Some viewers demanded she explain herself further, while others concluded she had no defense and chose silence to avoid incriminating herself. She needs to take accountability because it's the right thing to do, not because we want her to. She will never go forward if she can't own up to shit and learn to correct or prevent for the future. She is too worried about the internet and not worried enough about what really matters. What had started as debates about donations and authenticity evolved into something far more serious, reshaping the way audiences talked about Lachey Hinton and what kind of influence she should or shouldn't hold. Now mind you, her own son said he and his brother held her down while the nephew touched her, and then she tried to get him to say it had nothing to do with her kids. But what made the December 2022 scandal so jarring for many viewers was the fact that Lachey Hinton wasn't always seen this way. Long before petitions, allegations, and donation disputes, she had built her name online with something far simpler: modesty, relatability, and a knack for entertaining content. In the beginning, Lachey's career didn't look anything like the drama-filled spectacle that later unfolded. She was first noticed for her light-hearted uploads about daily life, makeup, and routine.
I can't reply to all these comments, y'all. Thank you, TikTok. I don't know what to say. Y'all. Thank you.
Unlike many influencers who jumped onto YouTube or TikTok with polished, high-production content, Hinton's style was stripped down. She seemed like someone turning on a camera in their living room and just being herself. That was exactly what gave her a sense of authenticity in the early years. Her first significant breakthrough came through dance videos. Around the late 2010s and into the early 2020s, platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels were exploding with short-form dance trends. Hinton joined in, but what set her apart was the Apple Store Challenge, which earned her the name Apple Queen. That video didn't just introduce her to thousands of new viewers, it defined her early reputation. People saw her as fun, down-to-earth, and unpretentious. She wasn't trying to be glamorous or larger than life, she was simply joining in on something millions of others were doing, and she did it in a way that felt real. For many fans who would later turn into critics, this memory of her beginnings is what made the later controversies so shocking. I had no clue she ended up how she is now. Back then, Lachey's outfits were casual, her settings were everyday spaces, and her tone was friendly rather than preachy. If anything, she leaned into being the opposite of the stereotypical influencer. That image allowed people to project relatability onto her. They saw her as someone they might know in their own community rather than a distant celebrity. Another important aspect of her early career was how she interacted with her growing audience. In the first stages of her online presence, her comment sections were filled with supportive, light-hearted exchanges. She often replied directly to fans, thanked them for their support, and gave the impression of being genuinely grateful for every liked share or new subscriber. This behavior helped cement the idea that she wasn't chasing fame recklessly. She was simply enjoying the ride as more people discovered her videos. Do you have any idea how iconic you are? OMG, how old were you in that? It wasn't just the dance video alone that launched her. It was how she carried the momentum afterward. Once she realized that viewers enjoyed her casual, entertaining content, she began experimenting with variations, reaction videos, playful skits, and live streams where she interacted in real time with audiences. These weren't always highly polished, but their rawness was part of the appeal. It looked less like a calculated brand and more like someone growing naturally into internet culture. For those who were there at the start, this version of Lachey Hinton remains a vivid contrast to the image that later emerged. They remember someone who laughed at her own mistakes in dance routines, who admitted she wasn't an expert but liked having fun, and who presented herself as modest rather than controversial. That early modesty and relatability are exactly what made her later accusations of greed, dishonesty, or negligence so difficult to process. It was a dramatic character shift from the humble beginner to someone accused of manipulating her supporters and ignoring serious issues. The video that first put her on the map continues to resurface in discussions for this very reason, a reminder of a time when her reputation was lighthearted and untarnished. The clip wasn't groundbreaking in itself, but it was her gateway to visibility. For fans, it symbolized the moment she became more than just another face in the algorithm. For critics, it became an ironic footnote, the memory of someone who once felt authentic but later seemed to betray that perception. It's important to stress that the early Lachey wasn't without flaws, but she was far from the lightning rod of controversy she later became. At the time, her rise felt more like a case study in how everyday people could leverage platforms to build audiences without needing Hollywood polish or influencer resources. In that sense, she represented the democratization of fame, proof that ordinary people could make it big if they tapped into the right trends with the right personality. Looking back, the gap between her modest start and her later scandals is part of what fuels ongoing debates about her character. Was the early modesty genuine, or was it simply a stage before she leaned into controversy and opportunism? Was she always destined to evolve this way as her audience grew, or did fame pressure her into choices she might not have otherwise made? These are the kinds of questions that longtime observers continue to raise whenever her name comes up, but that early image didn't last. The version of Lachey Hinton that first won people over with modest dance videos slowly faded, and in its place came a stream of controversies that piled up one after another.
They lying. They lying. They lying. That's not even true. That's not even what happened. Don't believe a word they saying. That's not even what happened. You can't. That's what I'm saying. Y'all believe everything these trolls say. I already made a video about it. And I reposted it and I deleted it because.
What began as whispers in forums and casual complaints from viewers eventually snowballed into larger accusations, and before long, her online presence was being defined more by criticism than by content. Her kid's gonna resent her so much. It's the same cycle everywhere she go. One of the earliest signs of that shift came in the form of her behavior on live streams. For someone whose appeal was originally tied to being approachable and down to earth, viewers started noticing a change in her tone and presentation. She's literally making up the story as she go. She is stuttering and stumbling over every word and keeps stopping to think about the next lie. Streams that once felt light-hearted began to look chaotic. Her speech was sometimes slurred, her movements erratic, and her responses irrational. Onlookers linked this to substance use, most often alcohol. Clips circulated where she appeared visibly intoxicated, and petitions even referenced her alleged drinking habits as a core issue. For supporters who had once admired her energy, it was disappointing. For critics, it became one more piece of evidence that her online persona was unraveling. Instead of the relatable creator they had first subscribed to, they were now tuning into someone who seemed out of control in front of a live audience. The drinking claims were tied directly to another major point of criticism, the condition of her home and her ability to provide a stable environment for her children. Viewers often pointed out the contrast between her online appearances and the backdrop around her.
Shut the up! You do not know what the hell he want. You do not know what the hell he like. Shut up. Y'all just be saying anything, dude. Shut up.
Some described poor hygiene in the household, visible clutter, or what looked like neglect of basic upkeep. On Reddit and in Change.org complaints, people accused her of prioritizing personal grooming, makeup routines, or social media interactions over maintaining a safe, healthy living space.
Y'all hurry up and get up in here. Hurry up. Okay, whoever this is in here, I'm really about to cry, y'all. Like, when I say this house is disgusting, I gotta go. It's roach bombs everywhere. Look, no, this not even a worse house full of food, baby. Let me show y'all. Okay, the house full of food, baby.
What made this worse in the eyes of critics was that her kids were often present in the background. Instead of attending to them, she was seen live streaming for hours at a time, sometimes while seemingly intoxicated. Supporters who once overlooked small slip-ups found it harder to ignore patterns that looked like instability, especially when children were involved.
Niggas do not have no legit reason to like me. Hey, when y'all do that, tell myself I don't want this. Well, you ain't hungry then. The heck? Better make you some noodles if you don't want no dang old chili dogs.
For many who had watched her from the start, this was the turning point. It wasn't just about the change in her content, it was about the change in responsibility. Fans who remembered the carefree dance videos couldn't reconcile them with the live streams of a visibly altered Hinton ignoring her household while addressing strangers online. The gap between the before and after felt like more than just normal internet evolution. It felt like watching someone abandon the qualities that first made them worth following. These allegations added another layer to her already growing reputation for controversy. First, there were accusations about donations and wish lists. Then came claims of bad parenting and verbal abuse. Now, on top of that, the image of someone struggling with substance use and maintaining her home became part of the narrative. Each new issue fed into the last, until her critics saw her sharp decline in public image. Even though some people ignored these controversies and continued supporting her, the perception stuck. Once a creator becomes associated with instability, whether it's substance use, neglect, or erratic behavior, it's almost impossible to reverse that narrative. And for Lachey Hinton, the combination of these controversies meant that the early, modest version of her felt like a distant memory. And once that reputation took hold, the internet wasn't going to let it go easily. From that point, the consequences became unavoidable. Her accounts were eventually banned, cutting her off from the very platforms that had once amplified her content and given her a sense of connection to fans. Even though she recreated her accounts later, the ban symbolized the growing inability to control a positive picture for her audience.
I don't always go off on live. It's just that motherfuckers like to come here and with a like me. That's what the it is. They like with the wrong. Like I'm not the one. I'm not the one. Don't play no games with me. Go play with somebody else. There's plenty other people on live. Go talk shit to them.
For someone whose presence online had been central to her identity, losing that access marked a profound shift. Fans and critics alike were left to speculate about her next move, and without her voice on those platforms, rumors only grew louder. At the same time, reports emerged that her children had been removed from her custody, and she had been evicted. Discussions across Reddit and other online communities suggested that Child Protective Services had intervened due to ongoing concerns about neglect, substance use, and the overall environment of her home. The page was certainly banned, but the kids get taken and she's been evicted. She's homeless on the streets but still live on TikTok, begging daily. While official documentation remains limited, multiple threads painted a consistent picture. Authorities had stepped in, and her children were no longer in her immediate care. For many observers, this was the clearest indication that the controversies surrounding her carried real-world consequences. The combination of account bans and custody concerns marked a turning point. Those who had followed her journey from the early dance videos to the era of petitions and critical threads saw a full collapse of the persona they once knew. It was no longer just about perceived misbehavior or social media disputes. These were consequences with lasting impact, affecting both her career and her family. Lachey Hinton's story demonstrates just how precarious the balance can be between online visibility and personal accountability. The same platforms that elevate creators also hold them under intense scrutiny, and a series of missteps, when combined with audience judgment, can create a situation that spirals out of control. The removal of her children and the banning of her accounts serve as a sobering reminder that digital actions have offline consequences, sometimes irreversible ones. What remains unclear is what the future holds for her. Can she rebuild her reputation when so many allegations have surfaced? Is there a path to regain trust from audiences and authorities alike? Or is the court of public opinion too unforgiving to allow a true, fresh start? For anyone watching from the outside, Hinton's story is a tale about the risks of public exposure, the fragility of trust, and the real-world weight of online controversies. What do you think? Can someone ever recover after losing both their platform and the trust of those closest to them? Or does the combination of personal and public failures make a comeback impossible?